nobody can hear me because I'm muted. The music's so loud. You'd think I'd done this before. We're back. We're live on the internet. I think my audio is all synced up. I've been like fighting OBS all day, much to my chagrin, just in time for the power to go out. But we made it. It's Tuesday night. We're in space, officially. Hello. How are you guys?
Good.
Great.
It's Tuesday night and the feeling's tired. I don't know.
Yeah.
Abundantly true.
It is.
Taylor was just saying before we went live that she's a little jumpy today. I would say I have not been until about like 10 minutes ago when I finally ate something for the first time today, and now I am feeling it. So when I inevitably crash in 45 minutes, just know that's why.
The place I went to pick up dinner from had, on Tuesdays, they have $1 Coney dogs. So if I have to run,
dogs do you have? How many?
why.
I definitely am jumpy, much like my audio bar. I don't know what's going on. It's like my local NDI output going through OBS is getting corrupted with my audio output. So if anybody out there understands any of that, help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi.
OBS
Kenobi.
Oh, we all went for the same joke.
Everyone's on it. Everybody's got that joke.
We're jumpy.
Everybody's jumpy?
So I'm tired.
Oh.
I'm tired. Very faint, delayed echo by a few seconds. I get Stuart on quality control for me over here. Yeah, we love low-hanging fruit jokes.
That's pretty true.
Okay. Well,
We've got a size issue in
now
two.
we sure do. Keeping me on my toes. I am battling Space Invaders already. Yeah, what else is new? I can
Stream
fix
issues
that.
are like asteroids. You just gotta.
Has anyone else played Space Team? The app?
No.
Oh yeah. Turn on the Firbolg.
Yeah, I feel like that's what Rich is dealing with in OBS. He's like trying to simultaneously resize things and fix the audio, and meanwhile asteroids are colliding with us.
All right.
Who doesn't know? Space Team is a mobile phone app that you played like usually physically in a space with someone else, and the instructions of what you need to do to keep your space from crashing are on your phone, but the actual controls to manage it are on someone else's phone.
Oh, that's fantastic.
And so you're trying to shout out like instructions to each other, like engage the Firbolg and like turn the stance aboard to 2, and yeah, it's very fun.
Yeah, that sounds disastrously frustrating and very fun.
Rich is like, my friends would not be able to handle this. It would be a disaster. We would die.
Yeah, there would be a lot of yelling, Kevin. I think there would be a lot of yelling. Hello. Welcome back. How are you guys all doing? We're all jumpy. Other than that.
Well, not all of us,
Jumpy,
but yeah.
but good.
We're still good.
Yeah, great.
Yeah.
The Bengals
Yeah.
lost the Super Bowl, so we had our mourning period, and we've now moved on.
Oh, spoilers. I was going to
Yeah.
watch it tomorrow.
I have a morning period every morning. Yeah, I like to say something. A joke I used to do a lot was like, don't you know, the Toronto Maple Leafs. I'm like 7 seasons behind. Don't tell me what happened in the game. I gotta, I'm catching up.
I did not know that LA was playing in the Super Bowl until the day of the Super Bowl, nor did I know that it was happening in LA until the day of the Super Bowl.
Yep.
So that's where I was mentally that day.
My partner was flying out there the day before, Kevin, and they like got word as they're at the airport, like, "Oh, good, we're landing at the Super Bowl."
Yeah.
There's a great TikToker who went through and named all of the football teams, NFL teams, with no prior knowledge, just based on the logo. And they named the Bengals the Scritches and the LA Rams La Swoosh. And so it was very delightful
Those are better.
to watch their TikToks about the Scritches versus La Swoosh.
La Swoosh. I love that one. That's an NPC name if I've ever heard one.
Wow.
And my name's Jody La Swoosh.
Thank you, Nate and Bugbear, for the subs. Ooh, 13 months. 13-month streak. OG Bug. Thank you.
Woo!
Nick Crawler.
Hey. Not to mention the Lord of the Rings trailer.
Oh,
Yeah,
yes.
not to mention it. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
What'd you mention?
Hey, it's
What'd you
early. This
mention?
show comes out many months from now. I think that if people are like, I think give it, you know.
I
There wasn't much
Okay,
in
I
it.
know.
It's very funny. I don't.
Wait, Kevin doesn't like to talk about trailers.
No.
Well, no.
Not
We
kidding.
don't talk about trailers.
Trailers,
No,
no. But the one thing I have to say about this, and I know it's like a nothing thing, but if you're gonna release the movie in September, or not movie, the series in September, and it's Lord of the Rings, how the hell do you not release it on Bilbo's birthday? What are you doing? What choices are you making? Because they are the wrong ones. It's the same thing with Obi-Wan Kenobi. They're releasing it in the middle or near the end of May. May the
It's the
Yeah.
25th
anniversary
anniversary
of the movie,
of the first
Who
film.
cares? May 4th is
I
coming.
know.
The thing is too, like, I mean, obviously this is kind of like before Bilbo and Frodo, obviously. But I did like, my dad and I don't text often, but I did text him when we were talking about it because he's really excited about it, and he's very optimistic. So I guess that's good. It's very much
They put a lot of money into it, so I hope it's good.
I don't know. I saw the trailer and it was like basically nothing, and I was like, "Oh, okay." And everyone's like, "I don't know."
Oh no! Oh no! Those
immediately
haircuts, though,
felt like
Grace.
how I felt about The Hobbit. Like, immediately was like that same feeling of like, this is Lord of the Rings, and I'm happy that it is, but doesn't
Well-
feel like the Lord of the Rings.
Yeah,
I'm
I
sorry,
really like Lord of
you-
the Rings, but I'm not I'm not a fanatic, so I certainly can understand that. Like, you know, that's, you know, I'm not looking at it with any sort of critical eye.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Few things will ever match the teaser trailer of Sam and Frodo coming up over the ridge when they first introduced the trilogy that they were going to be doing it, and I had no clue. I was sitting in the theater and I'd read The Hobbit, but I'd not read The Lord of the Rings. I had no clue this was happening, and all of a sudden it was like, this Christmas and next Christmas
And the Christmas after that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's an amazing. I have not obviously like read a lot of the source material, so I guess my question is, do those of you who've read a lot of stuff, do you get all of the like references? So you're like, oh, that's the this and that's
They're
the that?
they're going way off book. Like, yes,
Yeah.
you do get a lot of the references, but they're like scripting a lot of their own stuff. Just the like some of the language around it, Grace.
worked for
They're
Game of
just
Thrones.
like, we want to modernize the Lord of the Rings. We want to make it more like the real world experience. And it's like, gosh, you guys are really missing the forest for the trees
Like
here.
the-
We want to make the most famous fantasy series more like the real
Yeah.
world. That's what you want to
Yeah.
hear.
The elves
we'll
have
see.
short hair, which because I know it's such like a small thing, like but they
Very.
have short
Well,
hair.
actually,
And the dwarven women. Ugh.
Kurt, I know you're deeply
have beards?
invested in this one, man.
I
huh?
can't.
Well,
We're
if
fine.
if
Fine.
we ever find a way to get Taylor to podcast about these Lord of the Rings shows, I think we're gonna have to take an I can't count because I'm really feeling like that's gonna be high. I'm gonna take the over.
It's the name of the podcast, Troy. She just can't.
Yeah.
Yeah. She just can't.
I just can't.
She can't even.
Yeah.
Well, luckily for us, we play Dungeons and Dragons here, but on Tuesday nights, we don't care about lords or rings. We care about space. I could have done that better,
Well-
but nonetheless.
We might care about one ring that maybe is holding a soul within it, but
I thought the
True.
rings of jumping. I thought we were definitely talking about those.
2 rings of jumping.
Yeah, also
yeah.
the whale ring. We definitely care about the whale ring.
The whale ring. Yes, I care
yeah,
about the whale
for
ring.
sure, for sure. The 2 rings jumping, very important.
Oh my
So we actually do
gosh.
care about a lot of.
Yeah,
rings.
we do. We do, definitely. Nobody lords over them, though. Not here. Not on Tuesday nights. So, we're back for Adventures in Space. We had a couple level ups. So before I get the cart in front of the rocket thruster, why don't we roll some hit points? As I believe Jake and Yanna have some hit dice to roll. Unless you want to just take the average.
Oh, are you kidding?
That feels cowardly. Yeah, I'm going to just...
My usual is to take the average, but now I feel pressured not to
Good.
do
That's
that.
Well, you
Yeah.
should.
Our
As
mission
well
here
you
is
should.
successful.
Feel the pressure coming through the screen at you.
I usually end up rolling so bad on these, but
Jake and Yanna, we
I'll
got
let-
Paladin level up, Ranger level up.
All right, I'll do it. I'll roll it. How do I do this? I just roll the D10.
You could roll a D10, or you could click hit dice off your character sheet, whichever you prefer.
Just know the hit dice is going to add your constitution, so don't get too excited.
Okay. Let's see what we got then. Where's the page? There's the page. Let me get this so I can see this. Okay, here we go. Hit dice. Hit dice.
Okay.
That's literally the average.
Okay.
+1.
Yeah, that's fine. So you're going from 39 up to 46 for your max, right?
Nice.
I believe, as Austin once said, that is aggressively average.
Aggressively average. Nate supports you. So now we got Kurt. One more. Drum roll for Kurt as Jake's about to roll the big D10. Oh!
Reroll. That's a reroll.
That's a reroll.
The problem is I am rolling as Kurt. I need to roll it.
Oh, yeah. That'll throw you right off every time.
There we go.
That's
there you
Well,
better.
much better.
Well intuitive. Well sus.
So that's 7 out of 10. That's with your con. You're at an 8. What's your hit point total now, Jake?
Going up from 39 to 47.
Amazing. Look at both of you guys jumping off 39. The Turtle Ranger slightly in front. Okay.
Definitely not a ninja.
Nope, not this time. That was last week. So, we got a couple leveled up characters. You guys are all like 6th level. Someday you'll level up. Don't ask me when. It only slows you down.
You basically gave us the game. I said no.
I know. I know. Thank you for that, Grace.
Here's the thing. I don't have to ask when we're going to level up because I know Taylor's going to.
Yeah.
So,
That's exactly correct. Exactly correct. You level up as soon as you discharge 2 NPCs.
Should I ask to level up? I can't. Taylor will do it.
She just can't.
I just-
I didn't get the joke at first.
So,
I'm writing this down in my notes. I can't.
she can't. With that taken care of, are there any other major, like housekeeping, bookkeeping, just keeping track of stuff, questions that we need to go over?
Yeah, does Yanna know what magic items they have?
They should, yes. I think we went through it.
Okay.
I got a sword that of doing things. To
Yep,
dragons.
that's about
Doing
it. Yep,
things.
it's about it for now. Get a good sword.
Uh-huh.
We need to get Yanna some upgrades. So, I suppose then, without further ado, the camera opens on the inky void of space, stars dancing across the velvety blue-black backdrop. Around you, we see the insect-like ship, its wings hovering in the void of stars, driving you forward. The sight of a small winged kobold on the upper deck, clinging to the rail, hand braced over his eyes, deflecting the thin light coming from the stars as he peers at something unseen off the prow of the ship. As we cut down in below decks, we find the crew of the Dragonfly, the lot of you. Jake Doya, Turtle Ranger, Professor Reginald, the Giff-Q War Wizard, Reya, Firbolg Paladin, I'm sorry, Cleric of Clancy. How dare I?
Wow.
How dare I?
No, I don't think so.
I don't think so at all. Lux, the Changeling Horizon Walker. And I think as we take in the lot of you in the lounge, we see Doc, the second Changeling, our Artificer, opening the door to the back room wherein a series of hammocks hang. As I think Yanna, having gone on some adventures of your own since your friends left the Aether Station some weeks ago, depositing the Grung Sharp Jumper on a planet that he may learn to call home. You returned to the Dragonfly last night, where probably you've been like sleeping off your adventures over this time away from your friends. And I think the Doc is like throwing the door open like, Yanna! Get up, there's something outside. Ben sees something. That's my Melissa impression. As
Oh, what? Yanna like spins around, falls off the hammock. Oh, how long have I been asleep? Where are we? A minute, a year, 2
No,
years?
it was
a week?
quite conveniently, perfectly 8 hours. So that should be a long rest. All your stuff should be reset.
Oh.
You got all your spell slots back and your hit points.
Yeah, that's an interesting way of putting it. But sure, yeah, let's go check out.
I'm
what's
very
going on.
technical. I'm a doctor, and so I think
Damn it, Jim.
it's like you're like getting your stuff together, like stepping into the lounge. The rest of you, Reya, Jake, Lux, Professor, you see Yanna like stepping out from like the back cabins where the hammocks all lie. Ben on the deck up above the Dragonfly, you having heard him call down into the ship, the echoing sounds of his voice like, you guys are gonna want to see this.
What? Oh dear.
That doesn't sound like a warning call, so this could be good news.
Yeah, I
And
wanna
Jake
go
will
see.
start to lumber up
Yeah,
to
let's
the deck.
go.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, morning, evening. Hard to tell really with no sun.
Good morning.
Good
Is it-
evening.
Morning.
Is it? I forget, Rich. Is it a ladder or staircase going up to the top deck?
There is a staircase onto like the upper floor and then a ladder leading up onto the top deck.
Those who are observant notice that Jake climbs the ladder more speedily than he had before.
Wow.
The turtle has the fastest speed in the group.
We love
Wow.
That's amazing.
Amazing.
In
now.
space,
For
turtles
now.
move fast. And so
Did our friend's voice in any way convey threat or wonder?
roll an insight check.
Oh,
Jake interpreted it as wonder. I think
oh
that's
Lord.
just-
Insight? Okay, fine. Here
Yeah,
we
we
go.
love
I don't
making
even have
Reggie
the
roll
page
it.
I
pulled
think
up.
Lux
checks.
is just hoping it's a portal.
11 yo.
11 yo. With an 11 yo, I think that it's very difficult to determine. Ben always seems in some source of wonder. He didn't seem terrified, so that's reassuring, you know?
Great.
Sure.
All right.
And I think with that, a lot of you like racing up onto the upper deck of the ship. I think Doc like calling from below, like, I'll take the wheel. Waffle like flying at her side as you all come like clambering up the ladder, scattering across the deck, like racing towards Ben at the prow. You look down past the stowed ballista. The strange sensation of this kind of cold space wind blowing past you. Stars all about in every direction you look. But in front of you, a few thousand feet off the front of the ship, is quite a sight. As you see what looks like two separate ships, shaped like conventional boats perhaps, with small wings extended off the back, much smaller than the rover that you had previously encountered, comparable in scale to the Dragonfly itself. One of them appears to be moored, tethered to what looks like a great piece of wreckage, something that has torn itself away from a larger structure. It looks almost like a dock, a landing platform,
They're
perhaps.
flying the plane.
yeah.
Plane.
Or the plane, yeah. Whatever.
How many times in the course of our adventure
You know, the
have
dragon plane. What is it? It's fine.
How many times in the course of the adventure, what?
like someone has like seen something and everyone rushes there and only afterwards you realize that nobody is
Yeah, a
flying
handful
it?
of times. Quite conveniently, due to the structural setup of players in this game, there's generally always somebody. But yeah. So I think that you see what looks like almost like a pier, this long length of railing, as though it's ripped off of like a greater structure, and there's like the remnants of like some larger like kind of building, what looks like a blasted like piece of wall, like almost like the ruins of something. And I think moored to the side of it, you see a small ship with tiny figures moving about, and a second ship is closing in, sort of in between you and this one that's like moored on this railing, like kind of zooming down in at the first, which appears to be stationary. And I think that Ben, the tiny winged kobold, his red scales kind of glittering in the starlight, turns back at you like, I'm not entirely sure what to think about it.
Well, should we go say hi?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
If I had to guess, it looked like someone was off in a hurry. Probably ripped the landing pad right off of wherever they left.
I apologize. I can't see from this distance, but can you sense what type of creatures are aboard that ship?
It's hard to say. My eyesight's not entirely what it used to be, but that second one looks like it's coming in pretty hot.
How far away is it actually?
A few thousand feet, maybe 2,000 feet.
Can Lux use her primeval awareness, which actually stretches to 6 miles because we're on my favorite train, space?
In space, 6 miles isn't that far. What are you sensing for? Anything?
Aberrations, celestials, dragons, elementals, fae, fiends, and undead.
Okay, so you sense elementals right at range, like about a half mile away, like right within range of where these ships are.
Have we encountered ships that are powered by elementals? I'm trying to recall.
Sort of.
Yes,
yeah,
we have. Yep.
Is there any noticeable... is there a name on the side of the ship that we could possibly... or at this distance of a couple thousand feet, I imagine it's probably hard to read, but do we see... So, like, if we get closer, we can see the name, because if we can see the name, we might be able to figure out the language. If we figure out the language, you might be able to figure out what's on the ship.
Sure.
Also looking for
why don't you make a
and flags.
and flags. And flags.
Can I make a second edition herald?
Yay, heraldry.
I like to imagine that Jake is saying all of this out loud, and it's taking a solid 2 minutes.
So, shit.
Someone's echoing.
Yes, on with it. While that happens, Reginald is definitely tossing his Ioun stones up, just in case.
Yeah, Lux says, like, I'm sensing elementals.
Okay, Deanna.
The Deanna Troy reference? Just I sense something obvious. It's like, thanks.
Oh, we've got a Betazoid! We've got a Betazoid!
I sense this.
For anyone who doesn't know Star Trek, that's an excellent response by Kurt. That is truly excellent. Captain, I think they want something important.
You don't say.
I'm sensing something closed off. Alright.
Oh.
I should say, by the way, I think by default, Reginald just keeps the Ioun stones up above him because the higher constitution probably helps him study for longer. So, you know, if that's too cheesy, our dungeon master can tell me that. But for most intents and purposes, I think we presume that they're out and about as much as possible.
Probably helps when Lux is flying as well, when she's flying the Dragonfly.
Yes. Although, I don't know. I mean, he's got pretty sturdy feet. The issue is that his snout is often in a book, so he doesn't quite keep a good sense.
I'm gonna have you make a perception check. It's like you can't quite read the language on the side of the ship from this range, but let's see if you can note like any identifiable anything from the flags, the language, the runes on the name.
Perception, you say?
I think I've conquered
19.
the echo out there, you guys who are listening. Let me know if it's still tweaking out. 19. I think that what you note is that the language on the side of the ship that's moored, as you guys are kind of coming in, the secondary ship now is beginning to like circle to kind of swoop in around the first one. And as it does so, you can just make out like the shape of the runes in the distance. And I think you recognize Dwarvish. Dwarven runes on the side, though you can't like make out the writing, not for lack of trying, it's just the distance.
and that's potentially anything from dwarves to giants to. Although, given the size of the ship, I guess we probably can rule that last one out. Are there any flags though? I mean, as like that's like what they're for is like to signals from a far distance.
Yes,
not that I know what they mean.
I think you do like see a couple of flags, and there's like dwarvish runes clearly on one of them, and the second one has what looks like the symbol of like a bearded face on it with an axe above it.
But no like white flag being raised.
No.
I speak dwarvish. But they're runes. Would I know?
It's not a matter that you can't understand it, Grace. It's just the distance. I think, like, as you guys are at this safe distance, it's hard for you to tell. If you want to close in more, you could get more detail.
It's not the big E at the top of the chart. This is like the bottom line, and then the line below that.
It's exactly that.
ENFPLEFPO.
Doc will get us forward, and we'll say better or worse.
Yeah, one.
Or
Two.
Speaking of two, the second ship is approaching aggressively.
Yes. Yeah. I think that Ben's like, oh, look at that, aggressive maneuvers. As you watch, it's like they definitely like swoop around the top. It looks like pretty aggressive. Yeah.
And the elementals are on the ship with the attached dock,
you don't
right?
see any elementals yet. Lux just senses them. She like intuits that they're there. She doesn't really have a bead like which ship. They're both kind of so close to each other.
Yeah.
Well, which ship do we want to go talk with? Seems like we have two options here. We could either get the one running away or the one chasing.
I think we should definitely get closer regardless.
I think the one's coming to us, so we don't have to do very much.
Seems like
at
that
all.
one ship might be being oppressed. Oh,
That's a good point. They could be oppressing that ship. We should go check it out.
I do think, you guys like hear a voice from behind coming up from the cabin of like, the doctor wishes for me to inquire as to the nature of our engagement. Should we grow closer?
Let's get closer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who the hell?
Not that.
Don't pass.
Oh, yes. This is a sentient orb full of knowledge about the Shadow Realm. Please do not bond with it. In fact, the less time you spend with it, the better, I believe.
Oh, we seem so friendly.
No.
I am, in fact, a
that
very
is how they get you.
friendly intelligence system. I am known as the Accumulating Shadow Chronicle. If you are willing to bond
we
with
don't have
me,
time for
I
this.
can engage higher functions.
No.
Yeah, it's okay. We'll do that later.
No.
Fire first, ask questions later.
We will revisit this conversation. I think
Don't talk to me.
the orb like levitates
go.
back down into the ship. Like they said closer, you hear it like yelling as it's like floating away. And with that, like the dragonfly like dips, you guys like grabbing onto the rails. The ship pitches a little bit, the wings like as you begin kind of like zooming down in closer. And I think with a lot of you peering, Jake, as you're like watching, the closer you're getting into these ships, I think you see that the docked ship with the dwarvish writing on the side of it, it literally says on the side, sorry, bear with me here.
Notes,
It
pulling up
literally
notes.
Pulling up my notes. It says on the side of it.
Jake can't read.
Oh, wow.
Well, I should. There was a closed. I'm just checking his languages. I don't believe. No, Dwarven is not in his. He probably.
Reya can
Nope,
speak
that's
Dwarvish.
Draconic. Never mind.
Me too.
Same.
Maybe he probably recognizes the script, just like I can recognize like Cyrillic, but I have no idea what.
So you do
But Reya.
Yeah, you recognize
right?
the language. And
Twin moons of Cyrillic.
Reya, yeah, you see on the side of the docked ship, it says in Dwarvish, Scrounger appears to be the name of the ship.
Okay.
And I think
say that.
now, as you guys are closing in, you're some couple hundred feet away from like what is happening here, somewhere in the range of like 200, 250 feet, right? And the one ship is like docked, and you now see what looks like a couple of dwarves moving around on the deck. And then there appear to be another couple of dwarves on the actual scaffolding, and they're being followed by something that's carrying like a ton of stuff It's got a couple of like big heavy crates kind of obfuscating it, but you just see the crates like moving, and it's like they're slowly moving back towards the ship. The second ship dropping down in from above, you're like looking as like there appear to be about a half dozen people on it, all of whom have their eyes trained on the dwarvish ship down below, and they're literally like throwing ropes off the side of the edge of it, and they're about to clearly like disembark to like engage these dwarves.
We gotta see what's going on. We gotta help these people.
Who is
Who is
good?
what?
Who
I
is
don't
good?
know.
I don't know.
Maybe just. What if we are the enemies of both, and they both turn on us? Maybe we just see how this plays out.
What, you intend
Or
to
we
just
just stop
let
the
nature take its
fighting.
course?
No.
Yes.
No.
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 We can't
we
go
need to-
into
we need to
every
get
situation
ourselves in
thinking
between.
someone's an enemy.
We need to get ourselves in between what's happening right now.
I don't think that either are enemies. I just don't want to attack the good people.
That's what I'm saying. We need to stop the fighting before it begins.
Oh,
we
I
don't
can-
have to
Lux,
go
this
in
is not
guns
some sort of
blazing.
schoolyard fight. We can't just slip the Dragonfly between two vessels.
Oh, that's a great idea. Why don't we just do that?
Why not? Get a wing over there.
Fly ahead.
Gotta run out of the way.
like,
I
does
Mm.
are we able to tell
You
from
got rings
the
of jumping after.
are we able to tell from the debris field, Rich? Does this look recently destroyed, or like the Scrounger likely did not?
Great question. No, it looks like the Scrounger, as you're looking down, the stuff you see on the deck of the ship, you're seeing what looks like all old parts, like hunks of old rusted metal. The wreckage itself, this piece of like scaffold kind of floating through space, looks old. It's dented and smashed in places. There's bits of like asteroid kind of clung to the side of it. Like it looks old and smashed up.
And I figure that if it's recently destroyed, it's much more tightly clustered in terms of the debris. Whereas if it's been there a while, it's more of a
Great point.
spread out.
As
field.
you're like scanning now everywhere else, there is like no great debris field. It doesn't look like anything specifically broke up. It's like this one massive piece has kind of floated away from wherever it came, perhaps.
I get it. I get it now. Okay.
Would Lux recognize like this kind of ship, like that is like scrounging for like parts and things
Make a
like
herald,
this?
heraldry.
Like-
I said it, Kurt. You got me. You got me, Kurt. You got me. You got me.
Who's heraldry?
You don't know heraldry?
Wow.
It was really
Heraldry.
famous in second
I don't know,
edition.
first the episode.
Candidate for governor
History
in New
check. A
Mexico.
history check, Taylor.
Yeah.
Freaking history does everything.
Oh,
Okay, I think that you're able to identify. You're not really familiar with like the type or the class of ship in like specific detail, but I think as you're scoping the second ship from your perspective, as you're peering off the deck, you recognize like prison transport ship. You see there's all these like bars on the back of it, and you're like, oh fuck, this is like a tiny prison brig that probably was like moving dangerous people at some point.
The Scrounger or the other
No,
ship?
the other ship, yeah.
Okay, all right. Listen, we don't have to decide who's bad and who's not, but like that's a prison ship, and they're aggressively going towards this docked ship, and I think we need to stop them from doing that.
Can I then make a percent?
Well,
Can I
that's
see
a
if
prison ship, I think we
the people
can.
on the prison ship, do they look like they're like in charge,
pressed?
or do they look like they're, you know,
Make a perception check.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh! It's
Do they-
like immediately.
One must know the enemy before you engage.
guidance? Wait, yeah. I always
As-
forget I
Yes,
have guidance.
there we go. There we go.
Yeah, you can
Oh,
guidance
there
it
we
up,
go.
guidance it up. As you pray to Clancy
15.
for insight. As you're like peering down at this ship, they're not wearing uniforms. You see like one of them appears to be in some type of armor, like holding a glaive. The rest of them in very like disheveled, kind of like very worn, like ratty, battered clothing. Yeah.
This is
What's
very
the
tough.
emotional demeanor of the people in the ratty, battered clothing?
Oh my god.
Make an insight check.
Yeah,
Yanna.
this is tough because it could have been bad people who got
We
locked
need
up,
to
but
get in
also
there.
Yanna was locked up, and Yanna didn't do anything wrong.
True.
So I don't know.
We just need to get in there.
Let's
and
go.
See what's happening.
11.
Yeah, you're at distance, Yanna. You know, as you're like peering at them, like it's clear they look like a bunch of vagabonds. They're in like this worn, tattered clothing. At this kind of distance, it's really hard to gauge, like their state. You know what I mean? Their emotional state. Save that, like you've seen enough fights that like you're pretty clear they're about to like engage these dwarves. You know.
Do we have like a one of those radios at the right up here, down to the cockpit?
Ascending stone.
Sure.
Yes.
You could yell
I
at
think
the
even if
Yeah.
I think even if they're good, even if they're like breaking out of their oppression from being jailed up, they shouldn't attack these dwarves. So we should go. We should-
Exactly.
yeah.
We need to just get in there.
Yeah,
we
let's
need to
go.
just get in there and get
Hey,
scrapped.
Lux, pull us right between those two, will you?
Doc's right here.
Yeah, Doc's like, I'm Doc, she's Lux.
Oh, right. Sorry, it's been a little bit. It's only been 2 weeks. Feels like much
No
longer.
problem. Might as well have been 2 years.
Listen, we keep calling you Ren, and we don't even know why.
And with that, the dragonfly dives, right? It begins to like swoop, kind of like zooming in towards this secondary pair of ships. As like, I think it's at this moment you're watching as a bunch of like these like vagabonds, they appear to be like grabbing the ropes, rappelling down onto like the deck. A handful of them here, a few others like lingering on the ship. This ship itself like continuing to kind of move. You want Doc to drive it right in between the other two ships?
Yeah.
I mean, we need to get
Yeah.
in there. Like, we need to get as close as we can so we
get
can,
up all
like,
up in there.
get in there.
I think as that's being done, I think Reginald is like, allow me to create a bit of an insurance policy, and I think he will like reach out and kind of almost like reach out into space, and you start to see like small little bits of meteorites kind of start to congeal and then circle around him as 6 small meteors kind of just begin to swirl around the professor as he casts and maintains concentration on Melf's minute meteors.
I love the minute
Wow.
meteors. Yes. Oh my gosh.
So I can give each of you guys like a round here. You watch as like the professor like conjures these minute meteors around his head. The dragonfly diving. These vagabonds like leaping off the prison ship, like just shimmying down these ropes, like weapons at their belts. You're watching a handful of the other crew on the prison ship. They're just making sight of you as suddenly like the dragonfly like swoops down in. Are any of you doing anything else in this like moment before the storm?
Can Lux, like, we have a round,
Yeah,
quote unquote.
theoretically. Yeah.
Can Lux, like, fire off 2 arrows, like, directing it, like, right in front of, like, the aggressive group that's running? Like, 2 warning shots, like, just into the ground in front of them?
Yeah. What do you mean by into the ground of the ramp?
Like-
You're talking like you're shooting
Yeah,
into
she's,
the
like,
ramp?
just trying to fire in front of them to, like, get their attention.
Mhm,
Like,
mhm.
yo, stop it!
So I think that the first arrow like hammers down into the kind of like corrugated steel base here, and like one of them turns pointing, and you see another one like pointing a sword out towards you. Are you like yelling down at them?
Yeah, she's like, stop it! What are you doing?
Yep.
Jake stations himself at the ballista.
Okay, got it. Jake like untethering the ballista like as it loads up, dropping a bolt in Yanna.
Yanna has their shield out, and then when the person points at their sword, they take out their sword, but like wave back with their sword.
Yeah. I think you watch as one of them like tilts their head and is like waving to you with the sword for a second. Yep. Reya, you doing anything?
Gonna cast Bless at 2nd level, so it's everybody else gets it.
Everybody.
Ooh.
else gets it.
4 creatures.
Praise
Wow.
Clancy!
Thank you, Reya.
I would say get the Clancy's in the chat, but we don't know what Clancy looks like, so.
Probably.
Put your PCs in the chat. Praise Clancy.
Yeah.
In the chat.
Clancy.
I don't know. I have an NFT of Clancy. I can sell
Oh.
it to anyone. All can
No.
know like Clancy.
Oh, no.
Non-fungible Tortle.
Oh, not Clancy. Oh.
Clancy Crypto, that's what it's all about,
Clancy's.
baby.
Yeah, really. Crypto Clancy's.
Oh,
I can't get over it, you guys. With that, I would say, I guess, let's like maybe click some tokens and roll initiative here.
Yeah! First initiative of
Let's go.
season 2, Dragonfly. Here we go.
Here we go.
Get her done.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh!
Oh!
Reggie! Look at 220s!
40!
Oh, there.
I was so excited, and then Lux went, nah.
Amazing.
Incredible. The sad thing about going first is it's unclear whether who's a grant. So, Lux, please figure it out by the time I get to my turn. Thank you.
Sure.
Sure.
Do my best.
I love it. Just bear with me while I'm rolling a ton of alternate initiatives.
Bear with you. Rich lives in the woods, so whenever he says bear with me, there is like a 1% chance
That there's
that
an
a bear
actual
has
bear.
got-
Yep.
Bear with me. We just
You
panned over
joke.
to the couch. This is
Yeah.
a bear.
Oh, there's a bear with
You
me.
joke, but it's a
Have
real
a bear
fear
with
of
me?
my life at night when I go out to get firewood and it's like very dark. I'm like, one of these days, like there will be a bear at the wood pile, right? And I'm just
Yeah,
like,
I will say, well, like whenever I have a like house sat for you, and I like will go outside at night. Yeah, it's like
it's very dark.
it's lovely and equally as like horrifying, like because there's just dark woods
Yeah,
everywhere.
it's very dark.
Just listen,
Yeah.
Unbearable.
listen for the Waka Waka, and you'll be able to spot the bear.
Okay, I think I see all you guys, and you have officially like thoroughly obliterated all of my initiative scores.
Not me.
It's great. It's great.
As like these guys are all like they're still like doing stuff in that round as you guys are like flying in, the others like moving around on the deck of the ship. Yeah, so on 25.2 Lux, as you fired these warning shots, a couple of like these seeming like attackers, they've like paused and are looking back at you. One of them is like waving to Yanna, and then I think you see one of them like turning a crossbow up to like point at the ship. What do you want to do?
Did they respond to her like, "What are you doing?" at all?
They're not like saying anything back. They're all like looking at you, you know. They are still kind of like racing towards the dwarves. They don't just like drop their weapons and stop.
Right. Goodness.
I think
okay.
you hear
so,
like one of them in the front like scream like, "They've got backup! Who are those people?" They've got backup. Who are those
Okay, interesting. They've got backup. Well, so is this like how far are we away? Like, is this any sort of accurate?
Yeah, let's
here?
call this accurate. Yeah, so you're like 100 feet away from these people on the actual ramp.
Okay.
Very big map.
Interesting. And these ships are they that close?
I think
Like,
you're coming in above them. Yeah.
Above them?
Like I think that you're the highest and then like the upper ship is second, right? If it were going to be like
Yeah.
a step, right? It's like 1, 2 to 3.
Okay.
So we're not quite between them.
Yeah, you're like dropping in sort of between them, but you could get from your ship
Got
onto
it.
either of these if you were to like
Got it. And the assaulting ship we believe is this
yes.
upper one.
Yep.
Got it. Okay.
Um.
Can also track why they're in the initiative order. Okay, got it.
Okay. This is all right. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. How far below us is the dwarven ship? This, like, the lower one.
Probably about
Like-
like 30 feet.
Like, vertically? Like vertically?
It's like you're just skimming over the top of the other one. Doc, with like the sick flight skills, is bringing you in close.
I really, like, want to just, like, go for it.
Oh, I'm definitely gonna go.
You do you.
I support you, whatever you,
do you.
choose. I'm ready to go.
All right, what's it going to take to get Lux onto, like, this lower ship here? I have bonus action Misty Step and an action dash. Like, how far is that gonna get me?
Make I think that you can like make an acrobatics check to like jump down onto the ship without having to use the Misty Step. It will like use your action,
Okay.
right, for the dash, but yeah, nonetheless.
Yeah. What was it? Acrobatics? All right.
As
Come
we
on,
watch
Dexy.
like Lux like run back along the like length of the Dragonfly as like you're dropping in the ship, like tipping a bit, you kind of like grab the railing, like drop down, like sliding onto one of the wings as like it begins to slow, and like as it kicks up you throw yourself off, like hurtling through the air.
Full send.
Full
send, yeah.
send.
With a big 13.
I think that with a 13, you manage to like grab hold of like the tail, like you catch the wing and like you slip a little bit off the edge, but as you're going, you like grab it and are able to kind of like pull yourself back to your feet in like a crouch up here at the top of the wing. Yep.
Okay, she is going to bonus action Misty Step.
Okay.
To get even closer.
Okay.
To these dwarves. And is gonna like yell at them like, "What's going on? Who are those people?"
And I think that you see these two dwarves, like one of them, like, "Captain, they're on the ship!" And like,
no.
They turn, like wheeling back at you. And you just see this one, like, crazed, red-haired dwarf. His hair is, like, wind-blown. His beard almost, like, ridiculously wide. His one eye, like, squinted. As he's just like, "Who the hell are you? Pirates! Pirates!"
Oh, wait. No. What's happening? We're here to help, potentially.
Depending on how you answered this next question.
And I think the other dwarves are just like...
Way to just, like, curve it at the last.
Evasive maneuver.
Exactly. I think the other two dwarves...
We're not going to kill you, probably.
We're good, kinda.
I mean, this guy might be able to handle that, honestly.
The other two dwarves on the deck are just like, "Pirates don't usually open like that, Captain." And the other one's like, "I'll shoot her! I'll shoot her!" His hands are like shaking as he's like holding this crossbow at you. The captain just kind of eyeing you. I think that's your turn. Professor, you're up at 25.
Do the figures on this upper ship here have any weapons drawn?
As you're looking, you see that there's like this woman here with like a kind of like ramshackle helmet on. She's got a heavy crossbow that she was pointing down towards the dwarves, but now she's like looking at you like unsure, and she appears to be like looking back towards this guy on the like far side of the ship. There's a helmsman. There's like a dude at the wheel who has no weapons in his hand. He's just like working the wheel of the actual ship. And then this other fellow who's like bald, and he has like what you could see these like white kind of tattoos, tribal almost, down along his chin onto his neck. He's wearing like plate mail and he's holding a glaive. And I think that like he points the glaive up at you and is like growling something. Do you speak do you speak Elvish?
Elvish. I tend not to. I do not.
Reya, I think you understand the words as he's just like, "We can't afford to lose too much here. If these ones interfere, we have to cut and run." And he's like growling back to the woman on the other side. But he's got a glaive, she's got a bow. The dude at the wheel has no weapons, and then you see this figure in the back. He does not appear to have any weapons in his hands either.
Okay. I think bonus action. Reginald will release 2 of the minute meteors, and one will go toward Baldy here with the glaive, and then the other will hit the deck between the two, the guy steering and the woman overhand. I need all 3 to make dexterity saving throws, please.
Got it.
Actually, we need all 3 to fail.
Yes, that is
Not a bad
true.
request. Not a bad request. I got an 8, a 17, and a 16.
Okay, let's hear it. The 8 fails, the 17 and 16 succeed. So the first one against the guy is if he passed, that is half of 7 damage. And the other 2, I think the 8 was one of the other people, is 9 damage if you failed and 4 damage if you passed.
So, yeah.
And go ahead.
We just watch these meteors like shriek from above you. One of them like smashing into the edge of the ship, fire kind of rolling back at this bald man who like turns, his arm kind of covering his face a little bit. The second one blasts into the deck next to like the helmsman and this woman, and you hear like this cry of pain as I think like you hear the voice of like one of them from behind the smoke like clearing, like, well, they're not on our side. That's your action, Professor, or that's your bonus action.
It's my bonus action, and for my action, I think I will. I can't hold an action because I'm concentrating. So I think I will say, "You will stop this immediately, or else." And I would say something more clever after that and cast Vicious Mockery. I get totally brain farted.
Incredible.
This is one where, I don't actually have to like cast magic to play my character, so I shouldn't have to also be clever to cast this spell.
You're not.
So
who are you aiming it at?
I'm going to aim it at Baldy, the guy in charge. So I would like a wisdom saving throw, please. Making terrible use of the bless that Reya has
21.
granted
He's
upon
not
me.
having it.
No, but I think
Wise,
Reginald
very
tries to
wise.
definitely draws his attention and makes clear our intention to stop the invasion. Stop this.
Don't say
not
it.
gonna say
No,
that.
he points. He points the glaive at you, and it's like, kill the wizard. Yanna, you're up on 15.
Did he say that in
I
Elvish or
don't
Common?
think they're on our side anymore.
What did he say it in Common?
I skipped Jake. Yes, he did say
You
that
skipped
part.
Jake. I was gonna say. I think you
I
skipped
did
Jake.
skip Jake. Sorry, Jake. He says that part in common. Yeah, he said the part that he shouldn't say out loud.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do the folks on the prison ship have a clear view of the ballista?
Not great, but yeah, actually, yeah, they would, because Doc is coming in from above, like pitching down a little bit, so I think that they can see it with you behind it. Yeah. Yep.
Jake is going to brandish the ballista, like whatever the ballista equivalent of is,
Yeah.
and he's gonna make an intimidation check
Oh, yeah, okay.
in order to like get them to like just scurry off.
Okay, make your intimidation check with advantage.
Alphabets are hard. 15 with if it's with
Okay.
advantage.
Do you say anything to them, or you just like it scarily like Turtle with the giant crossbow?
Turtle
Okay,
with
got
advantage.
it. I think that the woman like lifts her crossbow, and you just see it shaking in her eyes, and you could just see.
That's not a crossbow.
She's like turning and like looking past the helmsman, like smoke rolling off her hair where she was just burned by this like meteor blast. She clearly seems terrified, and I think the helmsman is like looking back at her. This like moment where the two of them seem very panicked.
Do they have a ballista
No,
themselves.
there's no siege weapons
Okay,
on the
good.
deck of the ship. There are ropes with grappling hooks that you see, like one in front of her, in front of the other guy. Jake, that's your turn. Bonus action. Anything else? Jake, that's your turn. Bonus action. Anything else?
No.
Okay.
I was gonna say that it would be. No. I'm
Okay.
good. I'm good.
That will bring us to Yanna on 15.
Cool. So the ship you said is directly below us, right? The one that we've been firing
Yep,
on.
the prison
at the
ship
moment?
is basically right below you. Yeah, you can like jump off the edge of the Dragonfly and like land
Yeah.
right up in here.
Literally, Yanna is just like, oh, be right back then. A long walk off a short drop, and then just literally steps forward and just like drops straight as opposed to like tucking and rolling, relying just on pure athletic strength to take the Batman like I guess.
I
fall.
love it. I think you guys see Yanna does like a Sweet King Tom and right off the edge of the like railing. He just they just like step up on the railing and step right off like Yanna like vanishing, the like tuft of hair flying out of view as like you hit the like prow of the ship like boom in the like the 3-point landing, right? The sword in one hand while you stand up, and I think that you see the helmsman behind the wheel, this woman next to her, and he's just like, this is fucking madness. We never should have tried to escape. What are we doing? He's like looking at her, and the big dude next to him, the bald guy with the glaive, is just like, fly the ship or I'll cut your fucking head off myself. Yanna, that's like, let's say 20 feet of your movement. You have another 10 feet as you've hit the deck of the ship here.
Sorry, what did he say before cut my head off?
He's, so the bald dude is looking at the helmsman. The helmsman's like, we never should have escaped. And the bald dude's like, fly the fucking ship or I cut your head off myself. He seems like very mad. Yeah.
Well, there's the line right there.
Yeah.
Found the bad one. We found the bad one.
Yes.
Good job, folks.
Helmsman
Yanna
could be
will-
oppressing people. We don't know.
It's true. We don't know. We don't know.
Yanna,
who-
let me get a
I
perception
don't know.
check.
Due to the, if you look at the DSM-3, there's still 3 more things that I have to
Oh
check
my
off. Of what we know.
God. Yanna, let me get a perception check.
Okay, cool. Sure, I don't have.
As you're like peering down the length of the ship, these 4 people, right? You have the guy in the armor with the glaive, you have the helmsman, you have the woman with the crossbow, and then this blue-haired fellow like standing in the back, and he's staring up at the professor on the ship, reaching for some pouches at his side. But as you peer past them, you see a shadow past the bars in the enclosed section at the back of the ship, and you hear like
Yes.
oh, I don't like the look of that. And you just see this big form beginning to like pull itself up and like start moving, as there is definitely a giant in the back of the ship
course.
underneath
Of course
the
there
overhang, like reaching down for like the claw.
There's a giant.
You were close.
It can't be that giant given the size. What's the actual size? Large? I mean, we gotta rethink this.
It is a technicality. So, Yanna, you've hit the deck of the ship. You have 10 feet of movement. There's a bunch of stuff
Yeah.
everywhere. What would you like to do?
Yanna's gonna start walking forward, not running or anything, just like stepping forward, and just say, no, I don't think anyone's cutting anyone's head off. Well, at least not yet, depending on how this goes. What's the deal here? Escaping what exactly?
And so, yeah, the bald guy, I think, is looking at you, and he's like, poverty and prison. I don't know who you people are, but we're not here for trouble with you.
Well, we particularly don't like poverty, and depending on why people are imprisoned, don't really like that much either. What's the deal with those ones? I guess as
How
they
are the
point down.
negotiations going down there?
Pretty good, I think. They're poor.
They're very poor.
Well, there's your highlight.
They're very, very poor. So yeah, Yanna, you have your action and your bonus action, and so like this guy is like eyeing you, right? The glaive like in both hands. Now, what do you want to do? You gonna do anything?
I'm gonna hold action, I guess. If they try to attack me, I'll attack as well. Yeah. Oh, I'll also say like, did I see the person reaching towards the pouch? I will also be like, please don't do that. Oh, love the hair though. I love the blue hair. That's really nice.
Yeah, thanks, man. I'm sorry, but your gift just hit us with some fireballs. As he's like reaching for his pouches.
Just exuberant is all. He's just a little exuberant.
Okay, and you're gonna hold your action to hit anybody if they come in at you. On 11, these guys go. They are like basically charging forward at these dwarves. Like they're using movement, they're using dashes. They close in with the dwarves. They don't like shoot back at you or anything up on the ship. You're not there on the ship, Lux, but you watch as these four come charging forward. I think you see this woman. She seems like kind of like terrified. She's looking at you, Yanna, like looking back up, and she's like, "We're escapees. We have nothing. We've been flying for weeks. We're eating rats. Please, we're just trying to get enough to stay alive." And she's like backing herself up on the edge of the ship. I think she like puts herself in the corner here. Like she's still holding the crossbow, but she's not pointing it at any of you, you know? The helmsman is like desperately terrified, still holding on to the wheel of the ship itself. And I think, yeah, it like is still like pushing forward.
We all fell into
space. A lot of you like plummet off the edge of it. It's still just like pushing forward, and he's like cutting it and like wheeling, trying to like turn and avoid like smashing into the base of the Dragonfly. Reya, you're up on 7.
You're muted, Grace.
You're muted, Grace.
I'd like to get on the pirate ship. Can I do that?
Yeah, you definitely can as it's coming by. I think that they've like dropped down a little bit, but I think if you're willing to use your full movement, you can like jump off the edge of the ship and like come crashing down, landing right in here.
Okay. I have a ring of feather falling as well.
Oh, you do? Excellent. How do you have all these rings? This is amazing. So I think that you don't need to worry about the fall.
We went over this at the beginning of
Olympic season, baby.
We are the lords of the rings of power. And so you like just like
Bet you know
jump
great rings.
right over the edge of the ship, Reya. It's like the ring catches you and you land like lightly on the deck of the ship. It's clear this guy in front of you is some type of spellcaster, it appears. Yeah. This guy's got the armor and his glaive. There's a giant that you see like getting its club in the back.
And this one looks like it's gonna make an attack at. It's focused on Reggie.
Yeah, appears to be. Yeah.
Let's cast Guiding Bolt at it.
Oh, sick. You just point forward, the shield in one hand. 11, unfortunately, is a miss. As you see, like, the greenish guiding bolt, like, erupts off your hands, streaking straight towards the sky. It hits some kind of, like, magical barrier protection and just, like, explodes in the shower of green sparks around them.
All right, well, if that doesn't work, then you bring out Chompers. So then cast Spiritual Weapon.
Wait, they might be being oppressed.
Not that one. It's going to attack our friend anyway. Plus, I don't have to do... two of them.
No, you're great. Oh.
Oh, no!
Get yourself a team of Dungeon
26
Masters,
to hit.
friend. 26 definitely hits.
For 10 force damage.
Ooh, nice. As the spectral turtle appears chomping down on this dashing blue-haired arcanist.
Okay, great. That's it. That's my movement, action, bonus action.
It sure is on 5. I think that the dude with the glaive, like, glaring at you, Yanna, like, shaking his head, he's just like, there's no reason that we all need to kill each other here. You could just let us go. We're just here to get our piece of things.
What? I agree. No need for murder. That guiding bolt aside. What exact are you robbing these people?
You're goddamn right we are, little green person.
First of all, I'm 5'6". I don't really think I'm that little at all. And secondly, wait, how tall is that person?
They're like 6'6", and he's like, good point.
It's amazing how space still used the imperial
Yeah.
system as metric.
Sure
It
is.
really, it's quite
It's
remarkable.
one of the unfortunate things from the collapse of the library. I think that he just like shakes his head like,
Oh yeah. Secondly, do you even know them? You're just stealing from people you don't even know.
It's typically how
yeah,
it
I think
works.
he's just like better than
You can steal
better
from
than
people you
stealing
know.
from your friends, isn't it?
Oh,
And I think that he steps forward with his glaive and is going to make an attack against you. I think the catch is because he's at range, like he's got reach, he's got 10-foot reach, so he doesn't step into range with you.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, no. You know what? He's not going to do that. He's instead
Okay.
just glaring at you, going to be like, you've made a mistake stepping on this ship. Tall, short, I don't care. You're getting in my way. And I think that, like, stepping in around here, I need for you and you, Reya, both to make wisdom saving throws, as like he is exuding this aura of absolute menace. These are wisdom saves versus fear.
You have bless.
Approximately how far away is Reginald?
Great question. So I think we said you're like kind of 30 feet vertical. You're about 60 feet away, let's say, give or take.
I think Reginald would just reach down and say, "I think not," and cast
It's not
counterspell.
it's not a spell. He's not using a spell.
It's not a
ability.
spell.
Nope, it's just like an aura that he's got around him that he's like choosing to use. His
Understandable.
actions
Would I realize that he's not casting? a
Yes,
spell?
and I think
Or would
that
I
you
think
can
he is?
tell that the dude in the blue with the blue hair is casting a spell. If that's
Okay.
any consolation.
Like he is already doing something. Did I miss
No,
something?
but on his turn, like he will be casting a spell.
Okay, got it.
That's actually a 19. I have advantages in all wisdom.
Okay,
saving
both
throws.
of you guys are
bless.
good. And bless. Neither of you are frightened by his terrifying aura of menace. And I think that he
Got it.
just like yells once in common. He's just like, yeah. I think that he just says, yeah. I think he's like, in the name of Ansel Doddard, all of you, get off of this ship, and you can live another day! We chose to fight with you!
Ansel, what now?
Incel daughter.
Yeah, that's exactly what I said. That's exactly what I said. Incel Doddard. Yep. It's the Incel Doddard. Yep.
Sorry, Rich.
No problem. Nothing left.
Ansel Doddard, I think is the name.
Yes.
Ansel Doddard.
Yes.
Okay. See, I also got the real.
I really liked him in The Fault in Our Stars until he turned out to be problematic.
That's the name of the episode, is that it?
Oh
What?
The name of the episode is definitely The Fault in Our Stars.
Semicolon Incel Daughter. The dwarves go. The dwarves go.
What?
The dwarves
Okay.
are.
Did you get the name, Taylor? It's Ansel, like Ansel Doddard. Doddard. No.
Doddard?
Yeah.
Okay. Sure.
Sorry.
Great.
So proud of Grace. I can't. I will never blame you for that. I have long
Oh my
since
gosh.
accepted that such is
Okay.
the nature of the D&D. These two are like just fighting over here. I think that the one on the ship will like fire a crossbow down at these other ones. I think that one of them is like looking at you though and like yelling to the captain like, Captain, what the hell do we do?
Everybody just relax.
nope, all a bunch of misses. Those are the dwarves. I think that the captain like peers at you, Lux, and he's just like, I don't know who the hell you are, but if you steal the thing off me ship, girl, I'll cut both your hands off. I don't have time
I'm not
for
trying
this.
to steal anything. I'm just trying to figure out what the heck is going on here.
And I think that he's just like, well, maybe then you'll give us a damned hand. And he comes like running and starts like running down to like get off the ship. That's his movement. That's his bonus, or that's his action to dash. That's his turn. Meanwhile, on the prison ship, the blue-haired caster like peering up at you, Reginald, just like shaking their head like, and they are definitively casting a spell at you.
I think not. I shall cast
Watch
counterspell.
them like reach into like a pouch, pulling out this small vial that they flick the cap off, and like a few drips of water splash in front of them, and you watch as they begin conjuring the words, their hand moving, and as an ice storm begins to gather above the dragonfly right above you, you like snap your own invocation of power, like canceling their spell, and their eyes go wide. And I think like Reya and Yanna, you hear this mage like whisper like, clever Giff then. All right. As they burn a spell slot, you counter spell. That's the end of the round. Lux, you're up on 25.
Okay, yeah, I guess Lux is gonna follow the captain, seemingly. And, oh gosh. Okay. She gets here. Is it here? And can she see down?
To who? Yeah, you could see down. Yeah.
Okay. There's two on each, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Well, is this one of the dwarves? This person?
As you look down there, what you see is a small stone construct. It appears to have been carved from like separate pieces of stone that have been like fused together at certain points, and it's carrying this like enormous kind of crate, this big like metal plated box in front of it, and it's just kind of lumbering towards the ship, like carrying a thing.
Oh, buddy. Okay. Okay, I think Lux is gonna, I guess fire at this guy, with the hood, or not the half hood, not the full hood, I guess, with her longbow. Bonus action, Hunter's Mark.
Okay.
First things first. And yeah, we'll fire away.
25 hits.
Oh.
You're going for half hood over here, number 3 in the row.
Yes.
Okay.
And she'll aim. She wants to aim for like knees, like not like heart shots or face shots. Like she's just trying to like shoulders, legs. Not trying
just
to
prevent them from ever becoming an adventurer
Yeah.
again. Arrow right in the knee.
Okay.
The Zarin
An arrow
special.
like sails down, like ripping into the leg of that guy. You hear him like scream a little bit and stagger, like leaning into his shoulder. Second shot. Oh, plus Hunter's Mark.
Yeah, that he's the Hunter's Mark one. And I think this second arrow will go to like the full hood guy.
Okay. 23 hits.
Great. For only 7.
This one like slashing off of the guy's like shin as you aim down, like trying to kneecap the space pirates. Yeah, they both like stagger a little bit, like screaming, falling into each other. Like I think you hear one of them. She doesn't look like a halfling. She's shooting on legs. Yeah, Lux. That's your action. That's your bonus action. Is that your turn?
Yeah, she's yelling. She's like, "Stop! Stop it! Stop it!" And what is she's like firing at these people?
Stop making me do this!
That will bring us to the professor on 25.1.
Yeah, so this whole dynamic of like it's pretty clear that the woman and the helmsman are like not feeling great about this situation. My lovely spellcaster, whom I've just counterspelled, How are they? Are you exhibiting any remorse?
Their eyes on you, and I think that you see them like looking over at like the big bald guy next to you, and he's just like nodding at them, and they kind of look back to you, reaching for pouches, you know.
Okay. I think he will say kaboom,
Kaboom.
and cast chromatic orb, pulling out his decoder wheel, the diamond within it illuminating, and he will direct the chromatic orb at the green.
He's going to use his reaction. He's going to try to counterspell you.
That's perfectly appropriate. Yes. So that fizzles. So I think Reginald does and tries to cast it, and then it doesn't work, and he says, well, all right, and then directs 2 of the meteors bonus action to the spaces between the 2 standing
Oh,
there.
brutal. Both of them,
because they create a little mini AoE. That's right. So I don't know if you just want to roll 1 dexterity throw, 1 dexterity saving throw, or 1 for each meteor.
No, we'll double down.
But it's like a little 5-foot AoE.
I'm down. Go ahead and roll your damages.
Yep. Okay. First one.
Basically, they
and second
each
one.
made a save and they each failed to save. Ironically, I can split my damage here because I got it. So he takes 10, and then a separate 3 is 13. Brutal. He burned his reaction. Nothing he could do about that. And he takes 5, and then excellent.
6.
Got it. Yep.
And I think Reginald will stay on the Dragonfly in order to protect Jake, of course. And I think that is the limit of his turn. He still has 2 meteors swarming him, and he shall end his turn.
You are up, sir.
Would Jake be able to use his knowledge of vehicles to determine how best to disable the prison ship with a ballista shot?
Sure. I think that you could pretty clearly identify like the thrusters on the side or the wings, how to stop this thing. Basically, you'll need to do like at least 10 points of damage to like one side of it. The ballista does like 3d10. You could try to like shoot one of the engines out.
I'm very familiar with how much damage the ballista. Okay, I know. I was gonna say because my question is, can I make a vehicle intelligence check and then still attack? But you just told me what I knew.
I think that you just you can identify that you could try to stop the ship.
But it's not. I mean, it's. Gosh, is that a good idea?
I don't know.
Like,
yeah, I'm not sure.
yeah, I'm asking the DM. Should I do this? Oh, what the heck? What do I roll for the ballista?
You can make a normal attack with your bow. It's basically going to be the same thing. You get all the same modifiers. You're proficient in ballista.
Okay.
You can add your archery style and all that. 20!
Oh my God,
Holy
20.
shit! Jake's back, baby.
Ship explodes. The rest of us go with it.
On the ship, what's behind the thruster? Like, if, for example, the ballista bolt was to go through the thruster and into the space beyond, what?
Hard to say. Hard to say. So you get to roll 60-10 plus your dexterity score.
Wow.
Do I get my archery bonus?
Bees. Oh, and your archery.
That's only to your attack
Wait.
roll, though. That's not extra
That's only
damage
attack
yet.
roll.
Yep.
Okay.
So I think it's...
But you can sure as you see the ballista leave, or as you see the bolt leave the ballista, you also notice a swarm of little bees around the swarming the ballista bolt. So 60-10 plus, I believe, 2d6
There
piercing.
you go. 60-10 plus 2d6
Amazing.
plus 5.
5 for what?
Your deck.
Your dex.
Would that apply to?
Yeah.
Okay. Is it /R?
Yeah.
Think
/
so,
R
yeah.
space.
6d10 plus 2d6 plus 5.
There it is. For 42 points of damage. You guys watch as Jake's just like closes one eye. The bees like swarming around him, kind of swarming down around the ballistas, like very unassuming as the bolt like soars down, ripping through the like port side engines, smashing clean through the hull of the ship. The whole ship just like begins to like list. All of you sliding. Reya, you feel like you're back like hooking to the rail. The giant.
Yeah, there's a moment where I'm like, what the heck? And I look, oh, it's Jake.
Oh, it's Jake. Okay. The giant like as the ship is like beginning to like now like lose momentum and altitude. Jake, that was your action. You have movement and a bonus action.
Do I get
So
two
that's
attacks?
how it's supposed to work.
I'm guessing I don't get 2 attacks with something that has a
It's
loading speed.
Yep. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
a loading weapon. Yep.
Guys, remember weapon speed in
Oh,
second
I
edition,
should
Rich? Jake's for his bonus action, he's just gonna like slowly peer over the ballista. And be like,
And I think the captain like screams. The woman on the side is like, "We're done for." Jake, that was your turn. Yanna, the ship is like rolling away underneath you. You suddenly have to like kind of grab the railing. The helmsman is like clinging to the wheel as the ship is like tilting sideways. What would you like to do?
Yanna's gonna try and run over to the helmsman and just be like, "Turn the bloody wheel!" and like try to like turn the wheel so it goes towards the whatever the hell that thing is. Dock, floating dock, I guess. I don't know.
No, she's driving the ship.
Yeah, to try and steer and then tell everyone just like, try to get off the damn ship.
Okay, Yanna, as you like race over, you're like this poor helmsman is like he's burned and like pretty badly hurt from the meteor that struck him momentarily ago, and like you grab the wheel with him and he's just like, I don't know who you people are, but I didn't sign up to kill anyone. I don't know what the fuck we're even doing here, as he's like pulling and just like, thank you for the help, thank you, and the ship begins like just kind of like rotating. I will now move all these tokens very obnoxiously. As yes, you're able to like turn the ship back around, and it's now kind of like moving slowly towards where we are over here.
Okay. And so the ship looks like it's just headed right towards that. It's not just gonna fall into space,
yeah,
right?
You think it should be able to like crash down on the railing now that you got to turn it around a little bit. Yep.
Okay, cool. The helmsman is hurt?
Yeah, he's a little burned. Yep.
Yanna's gonna grab the helmsman that's right next to them and then just run and jump with them, like holding them in one arm, off of the ship and onto the dock.
Make an athletics check.
There's gotta be another word for
Wow.
this.
Make an athletics check.
That is terrible for me, so let's see how that turns out.
You have bless. Don't forget.
Oh, cool, good, cool. Athletics. Oh, great, perfect.
That's
That's actually
for
great.
attack
for me.
rolls and saving throws.
Oh, it is. You're right. I thought you got it on ability checks too.
Okay, it's a 20.
That's good enough. You grab the like helmsman and start pulling him from the wheel as like the ship like twisting sideways is now like grinding down into the thing, and Yanna, you like grab the helmsman running and just like vault, like you like crash off this box, you hit the ground, the helmsman like falls to the ground, you like stumble forward catching your feet. You have successfully gotten them and yourself off the ship. That's your turn.
Yeah, Yanna will pat their chest and be like, "Take a minute, will you?
Meanwhile, on 11, I think this woman, like, screaming is running for the front of the ship. Like, we're all gonna die! It's like she just, like, charges right past you, Reya.
Possibly.
These four down here are, like, fighting madly against the dwarves. I think, like, stepping into, like, flanking positions now. Yep, with advantage. Oh, yeah, brutality is happening. You're watching as they're, like, circling in around these dwarves, Lux, just, like, beating the hell out of them. The first one drops as he takes, like, a shot in his shoulder, and then another one in, like, the back of the head from these two mace wielders. This dwarf keeling over.
No.
Mace wielder is my
You gotta
favorite
love
Jedi.
mace wielder. That guy killed Boba Fett's dad.
Spoilers. Yeah,
This
no.
guy getting cracked in the back of the skull. What was my last attack there? Oh, 15 does hit. He actually takes both shots. Brutal. 12. He's still up, though barely. Like blood like trickling out of his ear as these four have all attacked. That's all of them. On 9, though, the giant goes. And I think it comes like lumbering out of the back. Just like, ship is crashing! And he's just like, with this club. And I think you see the bald dude is just like, kill them! Kill that Firbolg! And he's like, no!
Yay! Giant skin! Yay!
It's charging.
Wait, is this what Rich is doing? Giving us giant NPCs so we
Yay!
can't take them
It's
with
just
us?
charging to the
Oh,
front of
yeah,
the ship.
I
bigger
heard that,
ship,
yeah,
give
the
us a
Dragonfly's
bigger
bigger,
NPC.
yeah.
It's charging to the front of the ship like, no, Weem, no, die! As he's like running
Weem.
for
Weem?
like, the scaffold.
I'm sorry.
Weem?
I'm sorry. I'm going to need a spelling on that one.
Reya, you're up
Phonetic.
at 7.
Was it Huim?
Whim. Whim.
Quim.
Huim. Hello, my name is Huim.
I'm gonna try and guiding bolt the.
I put that in my DM files.
Try and guiding bolt the magic user again.
Okay, go for it. He scouted
26.
26 definitely hits.
Definitely just typed it with an H, too.
Whim.
Maybe getting retyped now.
13,
Got it.
and then chompers will attack with advantage.
Got it.
22
Hits.
Amazing.
for 11 force damage.
Oh boy. The guiding bolt like smashing into them. Chompers like biting down from above. This dude looks badly hurt at this point. Yeah.
I will go here and wait in line. Go on, we gotta go.
And I think it's at
Come on,
this
Weem.
point that the big guy next to you here, Baldy here, is like looking at the giant like, you son of a bitch! You've eaten 10 times your share of food! Help us! Help us! And he like lunges forward at you, Reya, with the glaive. Yeah.
Yeah.
Rude.
Oh!
Wow!
Yeah, that's what you get. That's what you get, baby.
As he steps forward, the charred deck of the ship where the meteors struck from the professor, I think it like caves in under his foot and he stumbles, like hooking in the hole down to his knee as he trips and he falls like face down onto the ground, laying prone in front of you, Reya.
Great.
As he
Great.
lays on the ground, like, no, this is all going wrong. That's his turn on 4.
Wow. What a hole.
Yeah, really. On 4, this guy goes. I think the mage comes like running up and he's just like, excuse me, Weem. Excuse me.
Whimsy.
I think he turns like looking over at you like, please don't kill me, please. And he's gonna misty step, appearing over here on the edge of the railing, like standing.
Excuse me.
That's his movement. That's a bonus action. And then for his action, he proceeds to cast Mirror Image, like shimmering forms of his body, like kind of replicating around.
Which one?
You know? Yeah, the
This
blue
one?
guy.
Is he still fighting our people?
Yeah, I was like, is this bloody
He
necessary?
did just run off the ship. He didn't attack anybody this round. You know? Reya, Reya blasts him with the guiding bolt. Chompers bites him, and you just see him run up behind the giant, misty step, and then cast Mirror Image. Right?
Yeah, okay,
Okay,
fine.
so that's his turn. The dwarves go. One of the dwarves is down. The other dwarves go. Yep.
I lack sufficient spell slots to cast
This
it
has gotten,
again. I can. but
This
I
has
don't
gotten
want
thoroughly ridiculous. From the deck of the ship, these two fire crossbows, 22 and 9. One of them hits. I have these all set on Whisper. This guy here wheels on one of the bandits and just swings wildly. 7 is going to be a miss, though this guy takes 7 points of piercing damage from a crossbow from behind. Red bandana. That's those 3 dwarves. I think the captain now, like leaping off the ship, he turns, like looking back at the like little guy, and he's just like, come on, you death robot, what are you doing, get in here. He's like yelling back at the thing, and he wheels around with his battle axe and is just gonna start cleaving on these bandits. Yep, he steps in, axe, shield bash. 20! Yeah, he's not having it. Oh
Wow!
You watch
Holy
as he like
moly.
steps in and he cuts the head off of this bandit with the red bandana, Lux, and then just like
gosh.
smashes it with the shield, and its body like just like cartwheels back over the edge of the thing. He's just like,
Christ.
he's crazed. There's spittle like flying at him.
They
He's
killed his buddy.
Yeah.
They killed his friend.
He's
Fair,
like,
fair.
he's just crazed
But he-
and screaming like a psychotic dwarf. Lux, you're up.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Okay. Jeez. All right. Lux is just gonna keep firing. She is gonna move. She's gonna like come down. Is like this wing accessible? Which wing is more accessible? I guess.
West
Yeah,
wing.
that wing. Yeah, that's the wing. You're on the right wing.
West
Yep.
All right.
wing.
Wing. This is my brother Wing.
How did you know that was my whole quest?
Okay. Lux is gonna like fire another 2 arrows. One for the hunter's mark friend over here. 15.
15. Hits.
Great. For 9 plus 13.
Oh, that's your hunter's mark guy. He drops as you put an arrow into his knee. I think he drops to the ground like, like.
I'm sorry. Stop it. Stop hitting each
Stop
other.
fucking
Stop
hitting.
it. Stop it. Stop it.
Uh-huh.
And then for the full hooded person, by the captain. Okay.
It's
16. Jeez, 210. And not hunter's marked, so that's just that. For 7. Ugh, low roll.
they stagger backwards and drop the arrow, like catching them in the upper thigh. I think that they like fall to the ground, like, ah! And I think that as they like rip the arrow out, you just watch as their eyes roll back in their head and they like thunk down to the ground, seemingly like disabled. There's only like one bandit left over here. Lux, that was your action, movement bonus action. You moved a little bit. Anything else?
No, that's it.
Okay. Professor.
I guess I didn't need to use Planar Warriors. That's good.
Has Reya taken much / any damage?
No, none.
Okay. I think that he will first and foremost, use bonus action to release the other 2 meteors. And I think he's going to try and angle it to hit the ground only where Baldy is. It does not hit Ween. It does not hit Reya. That's what he wants to aim. 2 dexterity saving throws, please.
Ooh, that sounds exciting. Is that the sound of a meteor crashing into a spaceship? Those are both big fails. So he takes 10 points of fire damage.
Okay. That's right. And I think then as my action, I think Reginald will kind of hold out his hand and says, yells down, "Wait right there." And he will cast Hold Person on...
Hold person.
Hold. He will cast Hold Person.
No.
On Baldy.
Lux and Doc's got old person cast.
They did get old person cast on them. 13
He
is
did.
a fail,
Yes, he
huh?
did.
Yes. So immediately he becomes paralyzed, which I could have done beforehand,
you see
but
him
I have to
basically,
keep
he's
concentration.
face down on the ground on the deck in front of you, Reya. One foot like still in the hole, his glaive like clenched in one hand. I think he like puts the butt of the glaive down. He's about to like use it for leverage to get back up and starts like pushing himself up as like 2 meteors like strike the deck, fire rolling over him, and he's like turning to look behind him as his body just like goes like rigid, and he's like paralyzed on the ground in front of you. Professor, that was your action, bonus action. Anything else?
Your actions have consequences.
I think
That's my
that
turn.
Doc is like slowing the Dragonfly, like winging it around over the top of this ship as it is slowly crashing into the scaffolding. Jake, you are up.
The dwarven ship is crashing into the sky.
No, the pirate ship, the pirate ship, the like jail ship. After you shot the engine, they wheeled it around in a circle, and now it's like crashing into the scaffolding. The dwarven ship is docked and hasn't moved this whole time, right?
I think I had the 2 ships mixed
Sorry.
up. Jake won't do anything this round.
Okay. You just like reload the crossbow. You're like pointing down with the ballista, chilling.
It's not good to have a loaded ballista just sitting on deck. So,
Okay, you're just like holding your ground up here as like the dragonfly is circling around. Yep. Okay,
Yep.
Yanna, you're up on 15. I think the helmsman next to you is like, thank the old gods. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Just shut up and stay here. And then Yanna runs back onto the ship. I guess over to not on top of Ween.
I think Yanna like darts through the legs of the giant. Yep.
Yeah, to the other person. Looks down at the one who's at hold person, and it's just like, you'll be fine. And looks at the other one with the pointy helmet, and just like, you idiot, come on, let's go. And grabs them and runs off the ship so they can get off.
Okay, you just like grab them and are gonna like help them, pulling them up off of the ship. That's your action.
Yeah.
That's your turn.
Yes. I don't think I have enough movement to get back off the ship, so I'll just wait here.
Okay, you kind of like race up onto the ship, grabbing them and like vaulting them a little bit, like throwing them, right, as they kind of like jump off the edge of the ship, darting out of the way. I think it's at this point these two are like running wide as the ship is now like grounding down in. This guy is in real bad shape because of where he's standing. Weem hanging out. Yanna's over here. This is a whole like scene that we've got going on. I think that the mage, like he dives out of the way, trying to avoid the oncoming ship crashing into the deck, and he misses. The ship like crashing into him, barrels him over as he like kind of vanishes underneath the mass of it. Oh geez, I didn't mean to do that. Yeah. Oof.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, he like kind of vanishes underneath the rubble over here, in bad shape. These guys have all gone. There's only one bandit left standing down here. I think turning and looking at everything that's happening, I think that they just like look at the dwarf like, I surrender! I surrender! And he drops the mace and like puts both his hands up into the air, like looking at the rest of them. Weem goes and is like, oh no! And he just like jumps off the side of the ship, like running over here, and he stops turning and looking back like, be careful! Reya, you're up on 7. What would you like to do? The ship is now like crashing into the dock. The guy's paralyzed at your feet. Yanna's on here with you.
Yeah, I think I'll just... Can I, like, grab Yanna and get off?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, we'll go, like, this way. Yeah, it's at 5, 10, 15, 20. Yeah, like there? Yeah?
Yep.
I feel like...
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you kindly.
Yeah.
Okay, Reya, that's your turn. This guy is held. He's just like locked up on the deck of the ship.
I was thinking about whether to have Clancy attack him.
It's your
Or
call.
Chompers.
It's your call.
No, I kind of want him alive, so I'm okay. Yeah.
He manages to break free of the hold. Staggering off the edge of the ship and like jumping down off the side, I think.
Can I say I believe it's
Oh,
at the
yeah,
end of
so
his
he can't
turn
move.
that he
Yeah.
can make
Yeah.
the save? That's correct. You can undo my magic, but
My
not
man
that
here is
quickly.
like badly hurt as he's like kind of crushed under the weight of the ship. Meanwhile, these dwarves, I think that like Lux, you see this guy has surrendered, and the captain just like with the battle axe, I think he drops his shield. I think he like chokes up on the battle axe two-handed, and he starts walking. And I think you hear the other dwarf next to him just like, you'll rue the day you stepped on Ferris Cragdrag's ship, dog. As the captain like steps up next to him and is just like, in the name of the Scrounger,
Lux is yelling, no, stop
I
it!
condemn thee to death. And he like takes a swing, and I think you just watch as the bandit like ducks, the axe going wide over his head. Like, meanwhile, the second dwarf like, don't worry, Captain, I got him. As he like goes to stab this guy.
No!
Flank other
Oh, John, oh my God.
And the bandit's just like, please, please don't kill me. I had no options. As like the dwarves are like just trying to cut this guy down, both missing badly.
Wow.
The two on the ship are just like, they're like, what do we do? I don't know. She says not to kill him. The captain just condemned him to death. Fire! And they both shoot their crossbows.
Damn it.
One of which hits. A crossbow bolt takes this poor bastard in the shoulder, and he's just like, please! He's screaming at this point. No! Lux, you're up.
Okay, all right. Lux at this point, she can make it there, right? Yeah.
If
Uh,
she can
Where-
make it there.
Yeah, Lux is gonna come like
Anywhere.
running off the side, like off of this wing, jumping down, and running over to the side of this bandit. Like, stop it! We defeated them. No more killing. Stop.
Yeah, please!
Stop
I
it.
surrender. Listen to the nice lady.
You stop it too.
I stopped. I stopped.
Stop. And Lex is just like holding her hands up like in front of this guy, like trying to stop the dwarves.
Professor, you're up on 25. You're watching as the ship is now like dragging itself across the thing. The guy is still like.
we would have
held-
dashed if we needed to move
Yep.
back. I would have
No,
dashed. if
you're
we needed
okay.
to
You're
move
like
back,
mostly
yeah.
out of the way. Yeah, I think it's like very dramatic, right? As you
That
guys
poor
like,
person underneath the ship.
yeah, the wizard's in bed. yeah, things got ugly.
God, it's brutal.
Are they
This is
dead?
why we don't get involved.
Could have flown right by.
Okay, so the sheep is crashing,
The sheep.
and Baldy is just now starting
he's
to
like,
move.
He's like, not quite pulled himself up to his feet. He's still on his knees, like looking terrified at like Ween as he slides past. Like,
oh gosh. We don't like him. And thus, I will cast a magic missile at him at second level.
Nice, go for it.
Why are we murdering?
Yeah, I'm not.
He doesn't know. Reg doesn't know. He just sees this guy is like going to attack like Reya and stuff. He is going to. I mean, is it clear that there's some sort of change in the dynamic here? I guess I should ask. I want to make sure I understand the.
You've seen Yanna pull a couple of the people off the ship, the helmsman and the woman that you had blasted. You watched.
And I did say they're poor.
Yep, you heard Giannis.
The question was, has he gotten any sense that the captain is not, or the Baldy is not intending to continue to attack his
I don't
friends?
think you
That's
have.
the
I think that like the only sense of that is that you paralyzed them with magic, you know. Otherwise they were clearly trying to stab Reya when they fell through the floor. You know, it's in the midst of this like frantic pulse pounding fight, you know.
Yeah.
How bad does the ship crash look? Like, does it look like it's gonna like stop at some point? Like,
it looks like it's like gonna hurtle off the other side of this thing and then just plummet away into space.
oh, yeah. I mean, there's the other thing you would have seen is like Reya actively choose not to attack the bald-headed man and leave. But
that's true.
You do you. You do you.
Mm-hmm.
Would you allow me a free insight check to see if Reginald picks this up in the context of...
See if you notice that like Reya spared this guy.
I just, you know...
I think you notice like Reya didn't kill him. Reya standing over him with absolute power over this guy chose to like grab Yanna and evacuate, not kill him.
Reg will hold the spell, a second level magic missile, and release it if anyone attacks any of his friends. We'll allow that.
Jake,
Hopefully.
you as well, standing up here on the deck next to Reggie, you watch as he seems like he's about to like fire off magic and then like holds it back. What would you like to do?
I mean, there's a lot of like stuff going on, and it seems like the tide has turned, that we had successfully helped the good guys and the bad guys. And so I don't know what you know Lux is going on about. And so Jake just kind of like leans against the ballista in size and waits for everybody to just do their thing.
Okay. Jake's gonna like let's see how things play out here. Yanna, you're standing next to Reya. The woman behind you is like panting, like holy fuck! What would you like to do?
I think Yanna's gonna yell up at the guys on the ship. Get off the ship, idiot! And then go over to the one that's panting and just be like, all right, you seem to be at least somewhat reasonable in that you ran away when you realized you're severely outnumbered. So do you mind explaining what exactly is going on and why you were robbing these people and where you're from and why you were escaping?
Prisoners, we were prisoners at interest.
Yeah, I got that.
He rallied us. He had the giant. They bent the bars. We killed the guards. We stole the ship. We've been some 10 days out here. We don't have any supplies. We had to steal everything we found. I didn't want to be a pirate.
Well, we don't always end up being what we want. Where did you, like, what prisons did you escape from? Why were you in prison? Actually, let's stop there. You weren't in prison because of just your whole being a person, right?
I made some mistakes. I made some bad choices, but I never killed anybody until they locked me up. They were transporting us when everything went sideways. It's a long story. It'll take more than this 6 seconds for me to recount to you.
Yeah, carry on. I am gonna look over my shoulder. Is the blue-haired person is just gone at this point?
Under the ship.
Cool. Okay.
It definitely.
Oh, that's rough.
It was a real mistaken Misty Step. That's like when I flash forward when I'm playing League of Legends, Kevin, and you flash with the auto attack. He just flashed forward, and the ship like, you know, he should have gone sideways. That's that guy. The helmsman, I think, is just like patting the leg of the giant, like, we made it, Weem. We made it. There's hope for us yet. You know what I mean? And I think this other person over here literally steps behind you, Lux, and is like, please, this is a nice lady. You don't need to kill me. I've dropped my weapons. I never meant for this to happen. They're like sobbing and like hysterical. As like the dwarves are on either side.
I never learned to read.
Yeah, Weem goes, and I think Weem's like, watch out, little buddy. And he drags the helmsman out of the way as the ship's like, and he's like, oh, that doesn't look good. As meanwhile, Reya, you're up.
Meanwhile.
Wow.
Great, so you are muted again.
Sorry, I'm having some pump issues tonight. My next plan was to see if you had intentionally not put the X on that dwarf down at the bottom, in case he might be able to be revived. Not revived. I'm not going to use Revivify, but I would try to heal him potentially. But I don't think I can see him at this moment.
I don't think you can either. Yeah, all you see is this big ship. Yep.
I think I will just wait for the ship to
Okay.
before I can do anything. Not much room for me to get across. So.
I think on 5, you see this guy stand up, and he's turning, like, looking back at you, Reggie. And I think he's like, yeah. And he's like, looks around the ship, realizing he's alone, as it's like dragging across the scaffolding, like about to doing that movie thing, right? Where it's like, and I think he starts like running across the ship. He can dash.
Is he gonna do the Paul Walker jump out of the vehicle and then grab the edges? What are we doing here?
As the ship like plummets away
Oh.
over the edge, and
No!
you watch as he jumps.
Can Yanna use a reaction?
He jumps and his foot hooks in the railing, right? His foot just like hooks up on the railing, and he's like, and like falls along the side of the ship. Yanna, what are you trying to do?
Bolt towards the ship and try to like grab him, I guess.
I think he's still like on the ship, right? Unless you're ready to go down with him. I think Yanna, you run to the edge as you watch the ship itself like this like trail of like smoke.
Can I release the magic missile at the railing?
Oh!
To try to like break it away? So you're like, the magic missile's fired. Wood like exploding. The bald man falls. Yanna, you may make one athletics check. I want to say with disadvantage. Let's call it a flat athletics check as he like lunges the glaive out towards you, and you can like grab the top of it to try to catch it. And with that, Yanna, you grab the top of the glaive. And I think, unfortunately, Yanna, like, the blade, like, slips. You take 2 points of slashing damage as the blade, like, digs into your hand, your black blood, like, slickening against it. And he's like, no! As he Hans Grubers. You guys watch his bald head, like, falling. And he just, like, vanishes into the cloud of smoke, plummeting down with the crashing ship.
Can I just say, the amount of nat ones, not only in this session tonight, but in the past few days, everywhere, there is something happening, and I don't know what. But this is insanity.
Conspiracy!
Mercury's retrograde. Isn't that always what it is? That's always what they tell me it is.
Oh my
Who
gosh.
knows? I bleached my hair.
I don't know. It
So
seems
there's
all
really something
natural.
It seems all natural.
really, something's happening.
The ones.
Well,
Chompers is just floating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Chompers is just like floating up there.
Hello, duck.
Oh, wow.
It's like,
Magic Man. I'm so sorry.
Bitch.
Whimsy. Whimsy.
Yeah.
And so, with that,
No, it's Queensy.
Playful D&D.
you guys look all around, right? You look all around. I think that the dragonfly like lights down. The legs like grabbing hold is like we see Doc's face like looking out of the cockpit, Waffle like floating in the glass. Jake and Reggie up on the upper deck, peering down from the ballista. Yanna with Reya up here on like the northern portion of the railing. This one woman, a couple of helmsmen with you.
I would run
with
to
the nat 20 from the board.
I would
I'm
run to
for
try
real.
and I would run to try and then healing word from a distance the dwarf that's down.
Okay, you come
Uh,
charging forward. I think that as you come up, the helmsman like looks scared, and I think that Weem like clenches down on his club.
Excuse me. Excuse me.
You know my
Lux is going to like go over and use a cure wounds. Like that was in the plan.
Yep.
If
Okay,
whatever happens
Weem
first.
steps out of the way. Here's the issue, Lux. Like the dwarves
Yeah,
are
she's-
looking
yeah.
at this guy behind you, like we're gonna
Okay.
fucking kill him. Ah, get him.
No.
Get him.
No, you're not. Stop it. Chill out. No, you're not. It's done. Look. And Lux like points to like the crashing ship in the smoke.
I think he's like the red-haired dwarf like chuckling, and the other one's like, I think we did get him pretty good, Captain. And like as you're like about to like step over, you hear like Reya call, and like the dwarf on the ground like
Thanks, Reya.
Yeah.
Captain, they got me. I think he's like, wait, you're not dead? You saved my man, Firbolg?
No, yeah. Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah, keep walking.
Yeah. Praise Clancy.
Oh, you're one of them.
Praise Clancy. Just save your guy. Don't complain now.
Yeah.
Meanwhile,
Jeez.
Yanna, you're like standing up here with
Yeah.
this woman, right? And she's just like, oh, is he dead? Is he dead?
I tried. Sorry.
No, it's
Whoops.
fine, I think. We weren't friends or anything. I didn't mean to get this far in. We just... It's desperation. We didn't have anything. When we escaped, we ate the rats, but Weem gets very hungry.
Yeah, he's quite tall. Yanna's gonna walk closer, I guess, leading them along as well, towards Weem and the helmsman.
Yeah, it's a great
It
reference.
sure is.
Weem in the
yeah.
helm.
Weem and the
And the
helmsman.
I think Reginald will get off the Dragonfly, assuming that it has been lit down
Yep.
onto the dock, and kind of investigate this splotch carefully, so as not to get anything on his shoes. And
As you come down off the ramp, like climbing down one of like the rope ladders over the edge of the bridge, I think the helmsman is like looking down at it like, well, that's a damn shame. He was kind of a nice guy. I heard that he got arrested for casting illusions with the wrong girl. But anyway, this is... Good God. What the fuck are we going to do? Hey, hey, oh, he sees you coming, I think, Professor. He's like, you don't need to fireball me. I just drove the ship.
No, 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 not to worry, not to worry. Apologies, we did not know who. Some of your companions were rather. Goodness, this is a scene, so quite a sight. Quite. You are large, he says to Weem.
Hmm? Yeah, I'm feeling pretty hungry.
Oh, no, no, no. Perhaps some cheese?
Yes! Cheese! These dwarves have cheese? I think he's like trying to... Oh, wait, you have cheese?
And Reginald's offering what little bit of cheese
This
he may
is
still
so
have.
small! I think he like...
Yes, it is what one calls an appetizer. Or dvor.
Amuse bouche.
Or dvor.
I think he just like sits down.
Oh.
Or dwarf.
Flat on his ass eating the cheese.
Or dwarf.
Yeah.
Or dwarf.
Or dwarf.
Reya, meanwhile, I think that like as you've healed this dwarf, the dwarf like staggers up to his feet and he kind of like walks over to you and he's just like, by the forge, you saved me life.
Yeah, not by the forge, by Clancy. I give him a pamphlet.
Yeah.
Oh,
Absolutely.
You're kind of indebted now, you know.
I am?
Yeah, a little. Yeah, bits. Yeah.
No, that's not good. That's a real bad when you're dwarf.
What? What? My dwarf? No. Turtle.
Wait, are you a dwarf?
I'm not a dwarf. Are you a dwarf?
Yeah, that's what they told me.
Yeah. Well, you know, inside we're all turtles, so you know.
I think his eyes go wide.
Where it matters.
I
You
think
know?
his eyes go wide. And meanwhile, this red-haired dwarf in front of you here, Lux, is just like, look, I appreciate you shot these damn pirates, but what are you doing with that one? What do you want with them?
You don't need to murder
I don't need
everybody.
to, but it would really make me feel a lot better about the way this
that's
whole
messed
afternoon
up.
is gone.
That's messed up. That's messed
It's
up.
not messed up. I'm just
It's
here
messed
doing
up.
me job, and they come here,
No.
and they're attacking me people, and they're trying to steal me
Murder's
ship.
not your job. Murder's not your job. You're just collecting stuff. Is that
How
right?
do you even know what my
Collecting-
job is?
Are you collecting things?
Maybe.
Because I did that. My parents did that, and we traded
Oh,
stuff.
wait, are you a scavenger?
Well, we were, but not really. But like we like moved things around.
I mean, anybody can move things. That's not that big of a thing to be doing.
No.
I mean, we built
Don't
him just to
think
move things.
No.
At this point, the little like stone guy is like, and I think that the like captain, the red-haired dwarf, is looking down, and I'm like, yeah, a lot of good that is. I mean, not like you're minutes slow. You need to be fixing this fucking thing, Dietrich. What good is it? We're carrying around the goddamn robot. All it could do is carry boxes. I want it to be able to crush pirate heads. How many times we need to go through this?
What are you yelling at him for?
I'm the captain.
Why are you yelling?
That's what I do.
Doc
do
could
so much
probably
yelling.
Doc could probably fix him right up. Make him
Yeah.
a killing machine.
I mean, he just found out his entire existence is just to move
Yeah,
boxes.
sure.
I feel like he needs a psychologist or a therapist now.
Listen, I don't know. What are we gonna do? We can't send all of these pirate people and the giant with these people. They'll clearly kill them,
Yeah, we're gonna
and
have
they
to
don't
take
have a
him
ship
with
to
us.
go on now. What are we gonna do?
We're gonna have to take him with
Sorry
us.
about that.
I think
We're gonna take them with us.
Well,
No.
what else can we do?
The criminal.
What did someone say? Take
I think-
with
What
us?
did you? Hey, what did you all do that put you in prison, please?
Yeah, really.
I think the helmsman, like, standing next to you is just like, look, I don't have a real good beat on everybody, but I'm not gonna lie, I killed a man.
Oh,
Who? That's the helmsman.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, I think he's like, it was a game of cards. I was a young fella. I didn't know much better at the time, but I've tried to really work on myself since then.
All right. Can everybody
Well, you-
line up on the edge of the?
Well, do you feel regret about it? Are you repentant?
I do. I think that most of the regret is because of the 12 years I've spent incarcerated, but nonetheless, I realize I shouldn't have killed him. He pulled a knife on me, and I realize in retrospect that doesn't inherently mean that he would have tried to murder me. He might have just stabbed me a few times and let me walk away, but I wasn't taking any chances, So I gouged his eyes out with my thumbs, and he bled to death.
Oh.
Where? Not on this body. What planet?
I think he
On
is
the
like
floor.
his eye.
Yeah, his eyes.
Oh no. What? I think he's just like Eston's Rest. It's where we all were.
Well, we're not actually that far. Or isn't that pretty on the way? Kind of. A little out of the way.
Well, that's kind of where we stole the ship and escaped from, and we're kind of trying to get the hell away from there.
Yeah, don't really
Yeah,
wanna
but
go
I
back
no. But
there, huh?
wait, we're not gonna bring them back. He just killed someone.
Well, 12
We
years
also
ago,
just
he
killed
someone.
people.
True. Can I
In
insight
defense.
check him on his regret about what?
Inside check it.
What? Who killed someone? We didn't. We
Oh,
didn't
God,
kill anyone. Oh, well.
If you've not killed anybody in the past 3 months, sit down.
I think Weem stands up.
Does Weem stand up? Yeah.
Wait, did you mean if I did or if I did? That sounded like a double negative. I'm a little confused.
If you didn't do no killing, you're allowed to sit.
I think Lux like does a double take at the giant, like.
Oh!
Oh my god.
Lux, that's
Does-
Weem,
does-
and he gets in
does-
the way a lot, from what I seem to have gathered so far.
Where did you guys find a giant?
He was in prison.
He was on the ship.
Oh my goodness. Well, oh jeez.
Well, listen, this prison sounds like it was no good. A very terrible place. Doesn't sound like they were really working to help these people and, rehabilitate them at all. Probably had them doing terrible labor.
They did. Then we
You know-
trust
Hey,
beauty
nobody.
guard. No more labor. No more carrot.
Stop. Okay.
Sorry.
Well, you're halfway there.
Sorry.
Does Jake have a clear line of shot from the ballista on the bald guy?
Oh no, the bald guy fell away into with the crashing ship. He like fell off.
Yeah, he gone.
He was Hans Grubering.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He Hans
Yeah.
Grubered off
Yeah.
The scene. He did. Yeah.
Listen, we're not gonna kill this guy. Lux like looks back to the like pirate behind
The
her.
guy that you have, he's like, no, we're definitely not gonna kill me. Definitely not.
And like looks to the dwarven captain. We're okay, right? You chill.
I'm not feeling very chill, but I won't kill him now.
What?
Sounds
Okay,
to me
well
like
then-
they're a bunch of escaped convicts and probably should be brought back to be processed. We got one of our own on the ship. Some vagabond, they got a price on his head.
You have a prisoner?
Damn right we do.
Why?
What did he do?
He stole a high-tech piece of equipment from Ibsen's castle guard along with the rest of his crew, and he's been a refugee for the past year. There's a price on his head.
Well, were the
Who's
people that he
Ipsum?
stole from bad?
Ibsen's castle guard's one of the great mercenary companies. They build some of the best fortresses and citadels in the galaxy.
You know, you're stealing stuff right now, right?
We're stealing stuff don't belong to no one. Best guess,
How do you know?
somebody put this here. And he's like, it's a piece of debris floating through space, girl.
Listen, all I'm saying is that shouldn't be just taking prisoners willy-nilly.
It's a prison.
Or murdering people willy-nilly.
Because
Hey!
it's a piece of debris floating. Ray will turn to Reggie. We should get brie at some point. We should get more cheese. But yeah.
Yes. Does anyone have any more cheese? I believe we've run out, and Ween appears to be quite hungry.
We should get brie at some point.
I
so
think that the
would be
captain
good.
is like, all right, look. My blood's been running a little hot. It's been a long time since I've been ambushed bad like this on a job. I've got cheese. I've got beer. I'm happy to share. A lot of you saved me lives. You saved the lives of me crew. You saved, well, a good haul on me ship here. If you want to break bread, you're welcome to.
Yanna's gonna turn to Weem and the rest of them and just be like, you see, he would have been willing to share food if you guys had helped. You didn't have to come in here stealing everything. You could have just asked for help. You asked Reggie for cheese and he gave you cheese.
I believe they were under some form of subjection. I don't know the quite word. they did not have the authority to make those decisions themselves. Although I do get the sense that Ween was rarely told what to do in a way that is not compared.
I don't like it. Are you telling me what to do?
No, quite the opposite. I'm asserting that you have agency, in large part
That's
due to
right.
your
Weem is a special agent. Yeah. Yeah.
special agent.
Special Agent
What
Weem.
in what for? Weem, from where do you originate, might I ask?
Home.
Home world? Are you from the home world?
Maybe.
It's okay.
Hmm.
Good. How long has it been since you've been to your home?
I don't know. Long time.
I like to inside check it.
Right.
Yanna's gonna say, do you remember your home?
Yeah.
Do me a favor. Think about it for a minute. And when he does that, Yanna's going to telepathy to see if they can see what Weem is seeing.
Sure, make an insight check with advantage here. I think that you get like a sense, maybe like some flashing images of like.
Did you say advantage?
Yeah.
That's a 20.
I think that you see these images of like a muddy hole, like a dank, gross kind of cave, a small kind of fire burning, and then I think you see like a scrawny looking giant that clearly like you realize is Weem, and then I think you see like his siblings like wailing on him and beating him, and then I think you see him sleeping out in the rain and like the mud. Yeah. It seemed like home was not that great, and I think that his face is like,
Weem remembers.
Yanna's gonna pat Weem on, I guess, his leg, because that's probably his high. Yeah, home does not seem like a place that you should probably return to.
No, it was bad.
Familiar, a little bit, but not a place you should go.
They put Weem in chains, make me carry rocks and trees. Then I smash puny men, make me carry all day. I don't like it. Then they put me in bigger chains.
Okay, well, here's a weird proposal. You all seem to be in need of food and
Jeez!
livelihood, and you all, as Yanna points to the dwarves, seem to have a robot that does not do very good carrying and needs something better. So, how about you all work for these guys? You can then get food and money and not be in chains, and then everyone's happy.
And we can take the robot.
Sure.
I think one of the dwarves is like,
What?
oh, no. Oh, no. I mean, maybe we can work something out here. And the captain, I think, is like scowling at the giant, looking up at him. And I think that you see, like, one of the dwarves is like a female, is kind of like next to him, is whispering to him in dwarvish, who speaks it besides Reya?
Yeah.
Oh, so I think Reya and Reggie, you hear one of the dwarves is whispering to the captain, like, it's not a terribly bad idea. Look at the size of that bastard. He could rip apart half the jobs that we get to just by himself. I mean, sure, we'll have to pay it off in food, but hell, one giant, that'd make a big bit of difference. The rest of them, who cares? And I think that, like, the captain's just looking at Weem, like, and the one dwarf is looking at you, Lux, like, you absolutely, under no circumstances, are going to be taking me construction. Do you have any idea how long I spent working on that thing? No. Dragger, no, he's part of the crew.
That's
I
fair.
think he's
We
like a
also
pet.
have we have a dragon, a dragon that my best friend made. She's the best mechanic in the galaxy.
Oh, you guys are best friends. That's so sweet.
Where have you been, Yanna? Even I understood that. Regardless, I apologize. I'm trying to understand the interpersonal dynamics here, and it's quite challenging, but you said something about a prisoner.
Yeah.
The captain
what is their name?
You, this like red-haired dwarf, and he's like, "Aye, fella named Heller, a dwarf. He was I think he says he went AWOL from Ibsen's Castle Guard along with his crew sometime last year. They stole some kind of new high-tech piece of weaponry or some such. There's a fat bounty on his head. We found him at a port in Oria and snatched his ass up."
Do you happen to have the tech on?
Is there any?
Do you find the tech with him?
No, some kind of big ship, I heard. They're keeping real close, tight-mouthed about it. I think at this point, though, those of you who like recall your endeavor on the Project Mordekaiser would immediately like remember the name Heller as like the medical officer, the dwarven medical officer of that crew.
Wow.
Yeah, and I think that I think Reginald would say Ibsen's Castle Guard. Interesting. We should very much like to speak with this person.
Yeah.
All right. I mean, there's a large price on his head. Do you know him?
No.
Oh, it's a dwarf.
Do I know? I do not speak Gnomish, but I do speak Dwarvish. No, I do not know this person. I don't know that any of us does, but we have had some exposure to something he may know about.
All right. I suppose a few words can't hurt. Dietrich, keep an eye on everything here. If you want to come see the prisoner, come with me. Giant! Don't break me ship. And I think that...
Jake, are you coming? I don't know if Jake is still on the Dragonfly with Doc or what.
Yeah, he's standing by the ballista.
Is he? Okay.
It's all clear, Jake. You can probably get away from that now and come on down.
I'm good.
All right.
Take that.
Keep an eye on all this then. And
What I'm doing.
I guess with Jake keeping an eye on everything, Yanna will join them.
Yeah, Lux is definitely
Okay.
heading up there.
So the
Don't kill. No killing.
Professor and Yanna and Lux are going with the captain, and he kind of brings you into the back cabin of this ship. There's a staircase like leading down, and he brings you down into like the belly of the ship, and it's mostly just like cargo. There's a couple of hammocks all hanging from like for the crew, right? There's all this kind of loose debris about all over the place. It's mostly like sorted and organized. It doesn't look like real chaos down here or anything. But I think that as you come down, you recognize the dwarf Heller. Certainly the three of you met him on Project Mordekaiser. And he looks like a bit battered since last time you saw him. His head is like shaved completely bald, like a cue ball, the beard having like grown out over a couple of months. And he's like manacled, his arms up over his head with like a chain from the manacles like kind of going up to the rafters above him. And he's just sitting with his back against his post, his hands above his head. And I think as he like turns, like glaring, the bit of light coming down the stairwell as a lot of you come down, he's like blinking a little bit like, "Are we there already then?" And the captain's like, "Enough out of you, turncoat. This lot here, they said they wanted to chat with you a bit. Had some questions, maybe, about what you took." And I think that, like, you all see this dwarf kind of eyeing you, like, eyes narrow as he's looking, like, "Well, I suppose I've got nothing better to do than answer questions. Shoot."
Just hanging around for a bit.
That's right.
Captain, if we could have some privacy, that would be greatly appreciated.
Mm-hmm.
Privacy?
Yeah.
Yes.
Look, it's clear a lot of you people are capable. But I'm not about to let you steal me bounty right out from under me nose.
Oh, come on now.
Why would we steal him? We could just ask him. Ask you for him instead.
We have reason to believe that this prisoner knows things that if you knew them, it would put you at great risk.
Mm-hmm.
And for that reason, you remaining in the room while we discuss it.
Who in the hells are you people? Space Force? Why don't you make a persuasion check there, Professor? And see.
Is Lux helping? Is Lux helping?
Okay, sure. Yeah.
It's great.
I mean, if I dare Dungeon Master, I would contend that might. I mean, it won't change the digits, but it might be more
Okay, sure. Yeah.
Based on
Yep.
what
Nope,
I said.
agree.
But with some help.
Are you technically still blessed? How long did bless last, Reya? 1 minute?
It's
No,
only
I think
for
it's a
attacks
minute.
and saving
Oh,
throws.
right. The guidance of it all.
Here we go.
Okay.
18.
I think that he sighs and he's like, don't let it be said that Ferris Cragdrag is an unkind host.
Yanna looks at the hanging guy and is just like,
He's a prisoner, it's different.
Sure.
Alright, you got a couple minutes. Don't make me regret this. As he, like, cuts and heads upstairs.
Okay, DM, just for my my memory, this is like Heller is from the group of mutineers that we found on the Mordekaiser.
Yep.
Is that correct? Along with, was it like Braxton and Elaine? Maybe
Elaine was the
in there? I don't
pilot.
remember.
Yep.
Okay,
Monk.
okay.
It was
got
Elaine
got it.
and
he was amongst
George, Jerry,
Yeah, Kramer. Yep.
Yeah,
Newman.
Tyke,
Yep.
and Newman. Yeah, Newman.
I think, and just also remind me, was Yanna with us? I don't think Yanna was with us at that time. I think as soon as the captain leaves, Reginald would turn to Yanna and say, "We know him. We have worked amicably with him in the past, although not entirely." And then turn back to Heller. "How did you get here? And where are the
The
others?"
last group I'd expect to find out here in the hells. Look, a lot of us made it to Aurea. That vessel that we took, it's not made for any kind of long-range travel. We separated when we were there. Some of us went our separate ways. I lingered too long. I didn't think anybody would recognize us. But this lot, they're not soldiers. They're a scavenger crew. They do a lot of work with the Gauntlet. Have you heard of them? They're one of the big companies, a dwarvish operation. They operate out of one of the dwarf citadels, built by Ibsens. This lot, they do a lot of salvage for them. They're gonna bring me there. I'm certain of it.
and the Ibsens are...
Ibsen's Castle Guard is the largest manufacturers of weapons of mass destruction that exist in the galaxy, likely. They're one of the great mercenary companies. They do a lot of work with citadels, flying fortresses, contracted out often with protracted wars on planets. They're used to burgeon the strength of government militaries and such.
You said a lot of words I really don't like, especially that one about weapons of mass
Right,
destruction.
well, that's how your friends met me here. My crew and I, they built something new. The Project Mordekaiser, they called it a giant suit of armor that flies like a vessel. It's got the capacity to shatter planets if it were unleashed. So we stole it. And they chased us down, and they're not going to stop chasing us until they can put our heads on pikes. Christ, Elaine will live 1,000 years and they'll chase her the whole time.
What did you do with the suit?
Still,
Oh, they left it
Yep.
behind
it's really cool looking.
when they
yeah.
took advantage of us freeing them and then escaped without so much as a
Well,
goodbye.
Hello again. I mean, look, it wasn't my choice. I'm not in charge of the goddamn operation. I just followed orders. The fact of the matter is, we got it away from Ibsen's. Once that dead whale showed up. I mean, dead things aren't supposed to fly in space. It was dead. I could see its bones. It was... Look, I don't know. We had to run, all right? We didn't mean to leave you for dead, but...
Oh, no, it's fine. We got all the stuff that you guys were trying to get, so it was cool.
We just wanted to live. That's all. And not for nothing, but you meet some strangers on a flying suit of armor in deep space. You don't automatically trust them, do you?
Well, I guess we did.
Yeah.
But... Would you give us a moment, please? Oh, don't go anywhere, I would say.
I have a hell of a lot of options.
Some gallows humor, of
Look,
course. Okay.
Look, all I can tell you is this. Brazzoli Chaos Brewer, he's insane. He's a madman. He's the one in charge of the gauntlet, the dwarf. They're hot.
I'm sorry, Fazoli's Chaos?
Brazzoli. Brazzoli.
Holy.
They call him the Chaos Brewer. He's a madman. I don't know.
He's in charge
That's
of
right.
the gauntlet?
And these fools are going to bring me there. I'm certain of it. We passed their citadel 2 days ago. They're out here looking for scraps from the Intergrade transfer. I don't know what the hell to tell you, but if you people can get me out of here, by gods, I'll do everything I can to make it worth your while.
Yeah, we'll try. We'll try. Come on.
And I think
This person has made
with that,
choices.
the camera cuts. Reya, you're still like above deck with the rest of the dwarves and these surviving prisoners here, and yeah, Jake is like over on the Dragonfly itself. I don't know
Yeah,
if
I
there's.
figured at some point I would move back over to where Jake is.
Okay,
yeah.
okay. So you head back over to where Jake is, and I think that the couple of like the prisoners that are left, we have the helmsman, this woman, the dude that Lux saved, and Weem, right? And they kind of like are like sitting off on the actual like scaffolding, just like unsure, right? As the dwarves are all up on their ship. Yeah, and so you head back onto the Dragonfly, Jake, up on the top deck.
I would be watching the pirates and the giant to just get a sense of them, maybe trying to overhear anything they're saying. Because I feel like there's a sentiment growing that they will join us on the ship and we will take them somewhere, and I'm rather skeptical of these people who are prisoners and have admitted to murder. So
I think that as
yeah.
you come past them, I think Weem is just like,
What now?
and I think the helmsman's like, I'm not really sure. And the woman is like, look, if we could just drop someplace, I don't know. I mean, I would take a job with the dwarves, but they seem angry as hell. And I think that the one that like Lux saved is like, those dwarves will kill us. They'll kill us in our sleep. You can't trust dwarves. I knew better. I had a dwarven cellmate for at least 12 days, and I didn't sleep the entire time. I think that the woman's just like, listen, we just need to do whatever the fuck we have to do to get out of here. If they leave us on the scaffolding, we're dead. We're better off without Ansel. He was a zealot, and I don't take well to zealots, but and then they like kind of see you coming, right? And they all quiet up a little bit. Weem's like,
More cheese?
he's like asking you.
I don't have any.
Oh!
He seems like really mad. They're like, just relax. You need to keep it together, Weem. We can't have another episode like we did. You need to just stay relaxed.
Wait, was Ansel daughter? Is he one of the ones who
Was the
he
bald
felt
guy,
he was the bald?
yeah, who went over the edge.
Oh, Incel daughter.
daughter,
Rest in
rip.
peace.
Yeah. And so you're able to like head back over onto the Dragonfly after you catch this bit of conversation. Jake up on the deck, like leaning by the ballista.
I would ask you, like, what do you think we should do with them? You think they could work for the dwarves? It feels like the dwarves will definitely kill them.
Not our problem.
I agree with Jake.
Okay.
To be perfectly honest with you, I mean,
Hey Ben,
sorry,
you always just sneak up
I'm
on me.
very small. It's easy to overlook.
Yeah,
me.
you're very. You're very
It's like
tiny.
there's so
Yeah.
much stuff happening, you forget that I'm here until we remember the context.
Hey, what do we? Seed is on the top of the ship, and is just. And what do we know about? He's just slowly growing. What do we know about? Because he's supposed to have.
Yeah, he's
rubies,
got little
right?
buds. He's got little like red kind of iridescent buds that are like filling out. You know.
For anyone who's just catching up with us, this is our plant that grows rubies
This
by being
sentient
fed
plant, I think
blood
I
and
remember
bones.
that.
It's not sentient. It's been
Namesy.
put in a pot that grants it sentience, but it does
Yeah.
fruit rubies
Wow.
annually if it is fertilized with bone and blood. Yeah.
Oh, have we been feeding it bone and
Okay, I
blood?
mean, it's been a minute.
There's
Well-
a big old splatter of
Well,
blood.
Ray, yep, Ray's gonna go some of the blood from the dock.
Okay,
Yeah.
Reya fertilizes the plant a bit, and I think
And when I hang out with it, I will use the channel divinity to charm it. Actually, do I have to use channel divinity? Yeah, I think so. I can use channel divinity, or I have charm.
always been my
Which I could.
favorite.
I guess I could ritual. That's animal friendship. Okay, yeah. I don't speak with plants. Yeah, so I use channel divinity, so that it's charmed by me. Yeah. When are you gonna grow? When do the rubies actually grow? When will they?
Soon they're filling out.
Yeah, but like when you say soon, could I have like an exact time?
I'm doing math. 163 days.
Oh, that's actually great. I was really worried you were gonna say years.
It might be my 164. Hard to tell.
Okay. Yeah, that's no problem. All right, here's some blood and
Thank you
bones.
so much for putting me out here on the deck.
Yeah, it's nice.
Oh,
Nice
this
breeze.
blood is so fresh.
Yeah.
You're the best, Reya.
No problem. No, you're
The
the
rest
best.
of them treat me so bad.
Not Jake.
Jake's also
You like
the
Jake
best.
too.
Love Jake. Not as much as you.
All right. All right. I'll see you later. I charmed
And
it.
so I think that with that, Yanna, Professor Lux, you guys come up from below decks, and I think the dwarf Ferris is just like, all right, so what's the score here? We've got to make our way. We're to meet with the gauntlets. We've got a full brig that we're looking to unload. He doesn't say brig, he says we've got a full load they'll pay good coin for. We plan to hand that one off there. They do a lot of work with Ibsen.
We want him.
Wait a tick.
Put my arm around.
Hang on, wait. Yanna just stops for a moment and is just like, wait a minute. Hey, Lux, didn't you say you sensed elementals earlier?
Mm-hmm.
Well, where the hell are they?
That's a great question.
Probably powering the ship.
And
yeah?
I think I think that Ferris is just like indeed. He says it's a fire elemental bound right into the engine.
Oh, I yelled
Yeah.
that from the other ship.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think that
Yeah, we've seen one of
I
those.
think he's like there's a fire elemental bound into the engine of the ship.
Is that a normal thing? Is that just how?
Yeah,
ships
we-
fly?
The
seen
ro-
that
the
before.
rover
Yes.
had one. yeah.
What is not normal is I do believe that acquiring their prisoner may not be the best course of action.
Well, we could always
Let
go
them
with
take
him.
You can't have him unless you want to pay his bounty.
Yeah, what's the bounty? What's the
Yeah.
bounty?
What's the bounty?
10,000 gold.
It's a lot of gold.
I think he's like, what do you
I
want
don't
with him
wanna go
anyway?
without that much gold. Well, you know,
Look, I mean, I make my way in the world, finding old things and making a use for them, so I can understand wanting to repurpose whatever it is you think he knows that you need, but
listen, I'm gonna take a second here to like implore you to look at that dwarf down there is not a tool. It's a person.
right. He's a person who broke the law and is now worth a great deal of money to me, a person without very much money.
What is the law?
We saved the life of one of his dwarves. A life for a life.
We did.
I'm just not.
But Reya, you're hearing.
Lux is ascending stone. Lux is ascending. Right. That's what's happening here. I just, life doesn't have to be all about this killing and stealing, and people are just trying to survive.
Right. That's all I've been trying to do. That's why I didn't take a job as a pirate or a thief. I'm out here making honest work.
You just killed a bunch of
You
people.
tried to ambush me ship and murder me crew. I mean, let's not mince words here, one woman.
Sure. We didn't have to chop somebody's head off and chuck them into space.
Right, well, you stopped me from doing it a second time, but the one there was drawing swords to poke me in me soft parts, in case you didn't remember that half of the interaction.
We definitely have chopped people's heads off ourselves,
Well,
so,
I have not chopped
I
anybody's
assumed
head.
as much.
I have many soft parts.
Okay, well, I guess I've chopped people's heads off before.
I get it. I don't know. Didn't have to happen.
Can we have your commitment that no harm will come to this individual while he is in your care?
On me honor, as a crag drag. I swear it to you. I don't have much, but I got me honor. I ain't beat that fella. I ain't whipped him or choked him. He ain't gagged down there. He eats what we eat. He drinks water every day. We unchain him from the roof and let him go piss off the edge of the boat like all the rest of us.
Oh,
Well, I like to overshare. What do you want from me? So, he says, I ain't looking to torture nobody. There's a price on his head. And not for nothing. But I don't like seeing dwarves that fall short of their word.
You're on mute.
Short dwarves. It's right there, Kurt.
Short
Short dwarves. Yeah, it's right there.
That's the joke. It's right there.
I mean, can't we let them take him and then just tail them? I mean, if they're turning him into the guy who makes weapons of mass destruction, I think following him is probably the right
I think
call.
he says, we're on our way to meet with Brazoli Chaos Brewer. The Gauntlet is shipping one of their citadels to Cerelia, from my understanding.
Whoa.
You are going to meet the Chaos
right.
Brewer at the
That's
Gauntlet.
right. Just a few days from
And
here, he'll
it
be
is-
nearby.
In Cerelia or near Cerelia?
They're sending something to Cerelia?
They're going to meet with the ambassadors of the Sahagwin Barons, I believe, looking to hire them. I think there's a real ground war that's escalated over there, and they're looking for contracts. So the Gauntlet are going to meet with them.
Ground war?
That's on the
ground war
water.
at Cerelia? Okay, alright. Well, that feels like that's on
Yeah, well,
think
gosh,
he's
I guess
just
we
like
just
a-
switched
I
courses
think
again.
he's like, we go to meet with, he says, we go to meet with Brazoli once we leave here. Truth of the matter is, he says, we would have stopped already, but, well, Dietrich. And Dietrich's like, look, what do you want from me? Best I can understand, this is as close to the intergrade transfer as anybody's ever found. This has got to be a piece of it. It's got to be. I don't care if anybody ain't seen this thing in 1,010 years. It would have been here. It would have been here, Captain.
What are you looking for? Wait, what are you looking for?
Nothing.
No. No,
don't worry about it.
I'm worried about it. We care about things like this. Do you see our ship?
It's very fancy. It's got wings.
Yeah, and it's ancient. What are you looking
It's
for?
very shiny to be ancient. How do you keep the chrome?
Because we
that
just
good?
fixed it up. Because I just told you we have the best mechanic in the galaxy on our ship right now.
Is it?
And I think at that, like, Reginald will take the sending stone from Lux, if she'll allow it, and just say, Doc, Jake, Reya, intergrade transfer mean anything to you?
You guys could try to make history checks, maybe. If you know stuff about space.
I don't know if I know stuff about space.
Average.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, cast guidance on Jake.
Yes, guys.
Jake doesn't have Ascending Stone.
There's just 2, yeah, and we're like assuming they're
Hanging
in, like,
around.
groups or whatever.
Doc's
I'm
like
assuming
with
I was
us.
communicating back with whoever's back at the ship.
Yeah, I think Doc like has come up onto the deck and is like, Reggie wants to know if you've ever heard of the intergrade transfer before.
Maybe not.
Nope.
They're taking an awfully long time to respond. Hopefully you were going to tell us what it was.
Nobody really knows what in the hell it was. It's a legend. It's a myth. It's a rumor. One of the ancient things, they say. Some great, vast planet that wasn't a planet. A construction in the stars big enough for dozens and dozens of ships to land. There was a meeting place, central. Certainly you've heard the stories. None of you? No? Ah,
Nope.
must be a dwarven thing.
Not from around here.
Look, the truth is nobody really knows what in the hell it does or did or... But I'm telling you. I met a fella on the port in Oria. He said that they saw it. He said that they saw some shadow or something flying through here on their way and... look at this thing. When the hell is the last time you ever seen a piece of wreckage like this floating through the stars? This has to be a part of it. It has to be, Captain. Look how old this is.
I mean, it's pretty cool.
I think the captain's like, look, I'm not out here chasing legends. I'm here for good steel and old parts. All I know is that there's gold in this thing.
Well, we are. So, if you know, like, we would like to hear it.
He's the storyteller. And Dietrich's like, I wish I knew more than that. I wish I did. I've been trying to learn all my life, but I'm telling you, look at the alloys. Look at the rust. That's 2 inches deep. That's 1,000 years out here in space. There's not a lot of things that have been floating around out here that long. I mean, this thing is massive, and it's just a tiny piece of something.
Yeah. Well,
I think perhaps there is some breaking of bread that can occur, and perhaps our engineer might inspect this and provide more intelligence when she's able to focus on that and not a ship being attacked.
yeah.
Look, I don't mean the captain is just like, I don't mean to come off ungrateful at all. I don't know who you folks are, but I'm sure glad you showed up. Like as not, we would have lost at least a handful of us trying to get the hell out of here. Fight them off. So thank you for that.
Yeah. Yeah, we're I'm Lux, by the way. Yeah. Yeah.
That's Dietrich, Fresker, Druella.
Hello.
Your
hello,
little
hello.
construct.
And Dietrich's like, yeah, that's Stragger.
Dragger.
It's just like carrying
Drag.
shit. Yeah.
Dragger. Yeah.
Drag her. No, it's like carrying boxes up onto the ship. And so I guess I say to you guys, like, what's the like consensus here? What do we think?
I think Reg would just like kind of double down and just say, we should very much like the opportunity to discuss this situation with our colleagues on our ship. And given that we have saved your lives in a way, we would ask that you remain here for a moment, perhaps for a meal.
Look, fact of the matter is, it's just good to have the cover. we'll keep on working. There's more I can strip from this thing. I'm in no rush to shoot off out of here. You all take your time. You have your talks. We'll regroup before we go.
Okay.
Very well. Yanna, does that seem amicable?
Yeah, so long as they don't fly off, which he's given his word he won't, and a dwarf is only as good as his word, or so he says.
You've seen what our friend on our ship can do with a ballista. So don't
And I
get
think
any
as
ideas.
like the dwarves all look to Jake with true fear in their eyes. We hear Weem off to the side like, more cheese? That's where we'll leave our adventurers today.
Oh.
Yeah!
Okay, cool.
Fun.
Oh, the consequences of our actions.
That was wild, you guys. I didn't know what you would all do. I wasn't sure. It was very interesting. You were very measured. Much restraint was shown in your engagement there. Yeah, I don't know. I always
Well,
think
it's like, you know, the bad. It seems like the bad guys are the people who broke out of the prison cells, but we broke Yanna out of a
We
prison
never
cell.
know. Yeah.
You never know.
Yeah, never know.
you don't. You truly don't. Spared an innocent giant's life. It just took one, ship squished mage and one
Oh, that was
one
rough.
desperately
Oh, those nat
lost
ones.
captain.
I very much enjoy the like moral dilemma of having to like, what do you do in this
Yeah.
moment? Like, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hope it's not too
It's,
overwrought.
it's very challenging.
Yeah.
It's very it's especially very challenging when like not everyone is there to weigh in, right? And so you're kind of it's an interesting choice.
I hope it doesn't weigh too heavily, right? This conversation of like, well, now what? Like, I didn't necessarily think that one ship would get destroyed, but great. It was epic, Kurt. What a shot.
Natural
That's amazing.
natural 20 and a ballista
Oh,
will do that
dude,
to him.
what
Yeah.
a shot, Jake. That was some classic stuff right there. Very,
Amazing.
very cool. All right. So, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I guess
There we go.
we'll figure out with the group what the best move next is, I suppose.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, decisions.
I think maybe there's some like a little overnight debate, a little overnight strategy, and we'll see what we trust and who we trust.
Certainly, we will see what happens before we come back next time. But this was very fun. Thank you guys for rallying. I apologize for my persistent technical difficulties. I know the audio was like a little wonky at the start here tonight. I've really been like wrestling with you guys. I thought I found a good workaround, but I overworked my workaround, which is why it was a little weird. I think that this is stable right now. So we'll see. I shall fight the good fight between now and next Tuesday. Nonetheless, I thank all of you guys for joining me for episode 2 of season 2 of Dragonfly. I'm having a ton of fun getting back to it. I think that this is an interesting open as your en route to Lun. We'll see where we end up, I guess, next week. But we will be back again next Tuesday. That'll be awesome. I don't know. Any like final parting thoughts here for tonight?
I'm glad to be playing again. That's my main thought.
Yeah.
I'm really excited to be back on this.
It's a delight to have you. I'm very
Absolutely.
excited to have like the 7 of us kind of collectively in like a pretty consistent rotating position as we go forward. I've talked to a bunch of folks about like some guests along the way, but I'm really excited about like this particular group of like the 6 of you guys as the crew in your various iterations. I think it's a really fun group. It's a well balanced group. You guys have gotten strong, so it's kind of exciting. But
I am very excited about level 6. I think I mentioned to you, Rich, that I currently have a charisma saving throw of +9, and I have advantages on all charisma saving
it's
throws.
freaking brutal. Yeah, it's
Amazing,
brutal.
yeah.
Gotta love that
Yeah.
paladin lifestyle. Some of us are busy out in the rest of the world doing stuff. Kevin, what else you got going on? Where can people find you?
Well, you can find me on post-show recaps. My main thing is Everything is Super, where we are currently covering Peacemaker. We're finishing up that series. It's been an absolute blast doing that, Josh Wigler and I. We can also find us on the Everything is Super Extra extra podcast in which Josh and I are talking about the '90s animated X-Men animated
I've been
series.
loving
I
that.
think
I've been loving it, Kevin. It's so much fun.
One of the best things ever.
Yeah, I love it, and covering that has been great. So definitely check that out. We're about to hit the final episode of season 1, which is going to wrap it for a little bit. We're taking a short break after that. But after that, let's see what else I got going on. Yes, with another person who is on Dragonfly, Melissa Woodward. I do the YA podcast, where we are covering young adult fiction, and we are currently in the beginning, I guess, of covering Harry Potter with Brooklyn Zed on there as a co-host for the duration of the franchise, which has been great. We've done Harry. Yeah, it's amazing.
Sorry, I'm just excited. I'm excited about it.
We covered, the reunion special with Zed, and we had such a great time, and it really got us back into the series, and we wanted to talk about it. When we wanted to do it was that on the podcast. So we just did Sorcerer's Stone. We're about to do Chamber of Secrets. The format is really fun. We're basically taking 2 weeks to do each, talk about the movie, and then bring on a guest and talk about the franchise.
So you guys are long hauling it. Yeah, nice.
Yeah, we're long hauling it. And along with that, we also wanted to make sure to shout out charities in order to offset the she will not be named terribleness of it all, and recommend books by people of color, by LGBTQIA plus authors, just really trying to do this podcast right to try and make sure we're giving the shout outs that we need to while we talk about this book and franchise. So yeah, that's the main stuff. That's what I got going on that I can remember at the moment.
Well, that's all good stuff. I'm psyched about you guys tackling Harry Potter in that way. Like, I think it's this thing where, like, we talk about it a lot, but like divorcing the art from the creator, and like we all have these very powerful experiences with the art in our lives as we go through it, right? So it's important to be able to like honor that and honor all the other people involved, especially in like the film franchises, right? Those things it's so much bigger than one individual. So it's great that you guys are trying to like shine the light in the right places with that story and the people involved in it, and like offset the attention elsewhere as well. It's very exciting stuff. But yeah, the Everything is Super podcast has been a blast too, man. I'm having so much fun with the X-Men. It's a delight. Troy, how are the Olympics? What's going on with you? You having fun watching the Olympics?
Oh my gosh, it's great. I mean, all the caveats with the Olympics. The reality is that it's great. It's just phenomenal to watch. I've been up late every night for the last 10 days, and at some point I will get back on a normal sleeping schedule. Tonight, the biathlon women's relay, which is the event I've most been looking forward to, because the United States has like an outside chance at a minor medal, which would be the first ever biathlon medal for the United States. And the cross-country relays for men's and women's are tonight the sprint relays, which is what the U.S. won. It might have gotten rescheduled, but the U.S. won a gold medal in that 4 years ago for the first time ever. So it's exciting times for people who like obscure sports. Curling's getting to the end of the tournament. There's good stuff. If you are at all interested in like knowing what Olympics things to watch, you can either tweet at me at DJ LaBelle Klein is the easiest thing to follow me on, or if you happen to be in the Discord, you can message me for the post show recaps Discord, or hop in our thread about the Winter Olympics. I'm hyped. I'm excited. It's good times, and this has been fun to play D&D. So thank you for pulling us together.
It was a delight. I thought we might not be able to do it. My power was going out, giving me all kinds of hell, but we made it, Taylor. We did do it. What about you, my friend? You definitely have stuff to promote this week because I did it with you. What else do you have going on? What should people be paying attention to, Taylor?
Well, goodness. Should be paying attention to did Wheel of Time Book Club podcast, which was a terrible amount of fun, talking about mainly book 6, because myself and one of our post-show recaps Discord friends, Alex, who is known as Alex Sedai in the Discord, we talked about book 6. It was great. Very excited about that. And yeah, other than that, hanging out here for the most part.
It's been a good time.
And at Ronnie422 on Twitter, but That's about it. Nothing crazy.
That's all good stuff. Kurt, how about you, my friend?
Don't have any projects going on. If you want to follow me in social media, I'm Kurt Clark on most of your major and minor social media platforms. Occasionally I'll stream on Twitch, but not with any decent regularity. That's all.
Awesome, Kurt. That was an epic ballista shot. We love to see the other side of the shell. Grace, last but certainly not least, what do you have going on? It's a pretty good list of stuff.
Yeah, Euphoria. Those episodes should come out Monday. Normally with Amon. This week Amon could not make it. Joined by Jess Sterling. Weekly movie coverage with Ariel. Raised by Wolves with Josh Wigler and Taryn Armstrong. Also Hold Up, a podcast where we look at LGBTQ media from the past and see if it holds up. Sports Rehap Up over on Rob as a Podcast was joined by the Rob Cesternino to talk all things Super Bowl this week. We talked a little bit of sports, and then we talked about the commercials in the halftime show. For like an hour. Rob was on fire. If you want the genesis of the Crypto Keeper, an ad campaign that Rob Cesternino created on the podcast, check that out. I think that's pretty much it. I am trying to stream on Twitch probably 1 or 2 days a week, twitch.tv/HighFromGrace. I'm on Twitter at HighFromGrace, so lots of stuff going on.
Yeah, go follow Grace on Twitter. She's very busy. You'll find a lot of the stuff there. It's all very good stuff. I was listening.
I was on the Gilded Age this week with Jess Sterling.
Very exciting. I was
so many
listening
things.
to
So
the
many.
Raised by Wolves coverage today, like delighting at the wrap up of season 1. That's a wild show, you guys. If people are liking like weirdness in space that is Dragonfly, like I don't know, maybe go check out Raised by Wolves. Like they approach whimsy in the same way I do. I'll say that much.
Very weird and
Very
whimsy.
weird whimsy. It's very weird.
I do love. There's a moment.
Whimsy.
I think season 2, episode 2. That episode would have dropped today, and there's a moment where Taryn has rejoined. Taryn did not. He was on the season 1 episode 1, and then season 1 the finale, and then he's joined us back for every episode of season 2. And there's just a moment where I make, I think by far the stupidest joke I've ever made on a podcast, while Taryn is like finishes being like this, like making such a salient point about like philosophy and like sci-fi stuff, and then I'm just like also joke. And it's a really good one. So those have been very, very fun. I think Taryn's added a lot to the dynamic there. So
Taryn is great.
Check it out.
I was really glad.
Philly was on an episode, and Philly will be on another episode coming up.
Oh yeah, I'm very excited about that. Taryn is very fun. It was very fun podcasting about Wheel of Time with him, and yeah, he's very salient. The man has like very good points while we're like trying to extract jokes from the ether. So God bless him. Yeah, I'm Rich Filiberto. You guys know me. I'm DM Philly. I'm hanging out here. Yeah, whimsy, terrifying space-eating flesh bugs. Exactly, Melissa. These are my friends. They are the crew of the Dragonfly Intrepid Adventures in Space. We brought back Humble Your See. Episode 5 was last week. It was really great. The VOD should be up on YouTube any day now. It's going to be here. We'll be back next Tuesday. Keep your eye peeled. We got some big stuff planned for March. I got a couple of fun one-shots that may turn up in the next limited weeks before the end of the month here. And yeah, a Wheel of Time role-playing game to be announced. Very likely first week of March. That will be alive and living here on DM Philly every week. Thank you guys all so much for hanging out in the chat. Thank you for helping me with my technical difficulties and clarifying my audio. I deeply appreciate it. And for the subs and for the follows and for all the donations. Really, it pays the bills, you guys. So thank you for that. And I think that's about it. And I will say, okay, bye.
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 Bye.